That's right, old sassin ass over here, Sam. That's what we always call fucking
So I'm going to just
producer
fucking
Mel.
leave that where it is.
Jesus. Admin's not our strong suit. Getting 20 people together is not our strong suit. Sam actually going out and doing sales at the end of the month instead playing golf is his strong suit.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, come on. What, Jake, got nothing else to say there, son?
No, nothing at all.
Oh,
I
man.
broke 100 bitches.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Great day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of my lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Prem, hey.
Sam Brown.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the Drunken United Football Show, a completely biased preview of the English Premier League's 2021-2022 season.
That's a
told by
mouthful.
two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me is my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing, brother?
Happy to be back, my friend.
Yeah, see? Professional. Got all that in.
Yeah.
One try.
That's a mouthful, that.
Yeah.
2021, 2022.
Yeah, I made it work.
Fuck that.
Fucking
Glad I don't
professional.
have to say it.
We're recording at Studio H. Oh, sorry, not Studio H. The
it's
new
not.
public house.
Ooh.
There we go, Mr. Professional.
Way to pat
Just
yourself on the back.
Cocky.
Just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with your footballing friends. If you want to chat with us, there is many ways you can. Sam, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Same way you have for the last 3 years. We are at DUfootballshow on all the social medias and DUfootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Fabulous. Or you could just do what I always like to say, Sam, and get 20 idiots to all fucking zoom in at once. Hi, everybody. They're all muted.
They all muted themselves.
told them to mute.
them to
Yeah.
mute themselves.
That's true. Very good. Very good. Well, then I guess you can't. Well, I guess you can't hit the mute button because they're already muted, huh?
No, sorry.
Oh man, this is
Do you want me to
terrible.
hit my mute button just to make you feel better?
No, we're
Fuck's sake. We're 30 seconds in. It's already going off
it's
the
already
rails.
going off the rails. It's already a fucking disaster.
Here,
Brilliant.
I'll go ahead and hit my mute button.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both share a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Sammy, what are we sipping on?
We have a lovely, lovely bottle. Today is a single barrel that one of my stores picked of Eagle Rare, which is a 10-year-old bourbon. It is proof down. It's not barrel strength, but it is delightful. Got it for about $50, and they are sold out, so can't get it anymore up there. But if you do find the regular Eagle Rare out and about, buy it because it's great. Should be between, I'd say, probably $45 and $55. Some people, because it only gets released a couple times a year, do take extra markup on that. So just pay attention what you're doing and be careful.
You see $60 or higher, pass. It's somebody just trying to gouge a price on you. So.
Yeah, it's good. It's not knock your socks off, but it is lovely. It's a nice little bottle of bourbon.
Yeah, it's $45 to $50 good.
Yep.
Yeah, love it. Excellent. What proof was this one, by the way?
90.
90. Okay. It's for a barrel pick.
It is a barrel pick, and they did not. Yeah, it's
They
like
don't go
it's-
barrel proof, huh?
It's like Woody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they go
Always blend a profile.
They always blend a
Okay.
profile and proof down.
Very good. Well, lovely little whiskey. So let's go ahead and get the fuck into it, man. We got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
There we go. Finally produced something. The producer produced something. You and I have done fuck all so far.
I've just sat back and watched you set yourself on fire.
Well, no, I was perfect, and then I put my foot right in my mouth.
wait, I got a story.
Okay,
we
what's
have
your-
a Spanish team we need to follow.
Okay, who's the Spanish team we need to follow?
Real Betis.
Okay, why?
Because they played a preseason friendly against Wolves. 4 players were injured. Okay. First 2 suspected COVID-19. Seems legit. The third one, vacation. Okay. And then the one that makes them near and dear to our hearts, of course, young Joaquin, hungover.
There we go.
That was his official injury status for the friendly against Wolves.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Can't make it out there. Had a little too much of the bottle last night.
Real Betis is good. No, he's not young either. He's 40. But his 40th birthday was the week before. Mm-hmm. And you know how hangovers get longer as you get older?
Right.
I wonder if it was from the birthday celebration.
Oh, it's 2 day
that he's
hangovers.
still hungover.
I definitely know a thing or two about the 2 day hangover. That is for damn sure.
Absolutely brilliant. So on injury time, we will be checking up on Real Betis now.
Very good. That's your admin, right?
That's fine.
Because I already got the IBS to worry about, and then
That's fine. I'll just Google it during the show and then talk about it on injury time. It'll be fine.
But you'll actually remember to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. 100%.
He's not going to remember to do it. I'm just telling you right now. He will not. He's going to remember for like a week or two and then just move on.
And then fuck it.
You know, that he'll be interested in the Belarusian league again because they have team names like Slutskin Breast. And that'll be about
And
it.
they have sex rabbits.
Yeah. No. Sex bees.
Oh, so no, it was rabbits.
We thought they were bees and they ended up being rabbits.
Yeah,
Six
yeah.
rabbits. Yes, very good. from the betting company.
That's so stupid.
All right, well, this is pretty simple. Let's go ahead and get into it. It's we do this every year. This is 20 clubs with 20 supporters. We're going to do a little rapid fire going around the entire league, bit of a preview session for everyone to just get to know all 20 teams that are going to be in your fabulous Premier League this year. Remember, 3 of them won't be by the end.
That's right.
All right, Sam, why don't you go ahead and get the whole ball rolling?
I will absolutely with our fearless leader, Mr. Simon of the Charm City Gooners, and our beloved Arsenal. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Not too bad, thank you. What I wanted to ask you here is, how do you think Lokonga and Ben White are going to change our team? Because obviously getting rid of David Luiz was huge.
Yeah, I actually think both are going to be really, really vital. Ben White, first and foremost, guys played one half for Arsenal, had some key saves yesterday, cleared a ball off the line against Chelsea. I think he's the center back that Arsenal has been missing for many years, and Arteta thinks the same thing. He's going to play on the right side. I think, assuming that Thomas Partey is not out for a long time, Ben White is the beginning of a much better and improved spine for Arsenal, that midfield spine, that center back spine that we've been missing for since really Patrick Vieira was roaming the field for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Lokonga is a younger player. He's one for the future, but I think even if Granit Xhaka stays, Lokonga adds speed and athleticism and youth. Arsenal won't be pigeonholed into having somebody patrolling in front of the back line that can't really run, which is a problem when you get against some of the more creative and fast sides in the Premier League. So I think they're both going to be really, really important. I love both signings. Popular chatter is that Arsenal overpaid for Ben White. I don't think that's true. I think you have the English tax that you have to take account for.
Of course.
I don't think that the Varane comparison is fair. Varane is older, and his wages are going to be 2 or 3 times higher than Ben White. So
At least,
Man United may end up paying more down the road for Varane than.
And he's
than Arsenal.
28, 29 as well.
Yeah.
And there are
the-
add-ons to that contract.
Well, Real Madrid adds on when they take a shit. So I like both signings a lot, and I think they're both going to be really good.
Awesome. Aubameyang obviously had a terrible time last year. Do you think he'll be able to break out? We saw Nicola Pepe as well finish the season very strongly. Will he be able to continue that? And then, unfortunately, Thomas Partey injured himself against Gabe's Chelsea on Sunday. So we won't see him for the first minimum 12 weeks of the season. But all 3 were kind of wishy-washy last season at best. Do you think they'll live up to their potential at the same time this year and actually give us a fucking chance?
If they do, we have a chance. Partey was hurt yesterday on a 2-footed tackle in preseason by Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Pretty dirty. Gabe Weigl. Hopefully he'll be back in a couple weeks. Aubameyang, you really can't have. His year started great. He signed a massive extension. He became Arsenal's highest paid player. And then it went downhill for him. We
like to call that pulling an Ozil.
Yeah, right. He got malaria on international duty.
And his mother was terribly sick, who he's very close to. And he's exhausted.
He was out for COVID reasons or COVID isolation. So he couldn't have had much of a worse year, barring not having a major injury. I do think that he'll come back into form. He's such an explosive and lethal player. He is a little older. But having Smith Rowe and Saka on either side of him, Partey feeding him the ball, you mentioned Nicola Pepe. I think this is the year that Pepe finally comes good. I wish that Arteta would just pick a place on the field for the guy to play from. I think with Saka on the right wing, Pepe will play on the left side with Aubameyang or Lacazette in the middle. I think you'll really see the real Nico Pepe that we saw at Lille. Some of my French friends who follow Lille say that Pepe played best when he had space and room to run. It's harder to come by in the Premier League than it is in Ligue 1. It just is.
Absolutely.
You've got guys on you and up your ass all the time. But I think Pepe is starting to figure out the game. He's a young guy. Apparently, he's a painfully shy guy. It took him a while to adjust to England and to the English game. But I do think that they both can come good. And I think if they do, Arsenal's going to score a lot of goals.
All right, awesome. Sounds good.
Mr. Graham, I have one question for you.
Okay.
Seeing that you guys had to pull out of the Florida Cup that was in Orlando that we won, by the way. Just want to let you know.
Congratulations.
The COVID Cup?
I just want to know, how the hell do you guys manage to get yourself into a COVID crisis twice? Like, are y'all just like walking around North London licking doorknobs? Is that just how Arsenal players roll?
Well,
you got to be good at something, Houston. You got to be good at something.
Little known fact.
We're apparently good at catching COVID.
Yeah. Little known fact. Arsenal fucks too.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about that? You're COVID champions, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Arsenal
It's a
Football Club.
trophy. It's a
You won something.
That's funny.
Put that on the DVD.
That's right. We're not Tottenham.
Yeah.
There's no DVD coming out. Speaking of people injured in training games with 2-footed tackles, did you see very quickly that Wayne Rooney injured one of his own midfielders because he decided to take part in a drill? Out for 12 weeks, that player.
Well done,
And he's
Wayne.
the guy that was complaining that he couldn't field a team because he didn't have players. That's
Exactly.
great.
Fucking brilliant. And a week after, he got in another cheating scandal.
Another one.
He was just pissed off about the pictures that got
Yeah,
leaked
that
to
was
him.
his fourth time he's cheated on old Colleen there. It's terrible, isn't it?
I think Colleen's just staying until the end because she knows there's a big payday. Just don't care.
right.
At this point, yeah. I mean, at fourth time, yeah, she's in.
At least they were under 70 this time, though.
Granny Shagger.
All right. Simon, plug away, man.
Yeah, I just want to say, again, thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to do this. Hope to be back for some more pro Arsenal agenda this year. Want to plug three things. One, Charm City Gooners is the official Arsenal Supporters Club of Maryland. We meet at the Abbey in Federal Hill. We'll hope to resume in-person matches this fall. Craig Willinger Fund is a local soccer-based charity. We send kids and young adults with recovering from cancer, other serious illnesses to the soccer match of their dreams with the resumption of in-person matches hopefully soon. We will we'll be able to send kids and young adults back. Many of you all have supported us, and we hope to have your support again. And then Gabe Weigel, despite being a dirty Chelsea fan, and I, along with Mike Cavanaugh, another Gooner, followed in the illustrious footsteps of the two Sams and the Mel. We started our own podcast centered on three EPL fans watching MLS and trying not to be horrified. We kicked that off this year. It's called Strangers in Their Own Land, and we're having a lot of fun with it. So thanks, guys, for the inspiration.
Excellent. Hey, just like a Tottenham supporter to not mute himself while we're talking about charities and new podcasts and all that good stuff.
It took me a moment to find the mute button. Sorry.
No problem. All good. Production.
My mute button's easy. It's right.
Yeah, we are learning and growing together, boys and girls.
Yeah, right.
Which leads us to our next very, very pristine, utmost important guest. We're going to talk Aston Villa with Her Highness, nonetheless. Lindsay, how you doing, darling?
Hi, guys. Still a bit gutted about the Euros and the final and just, England not being able to just make the most of it. Still a bit depressed about that, but looking forward to a new, wonderful season ahead with Aston Villa.
Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and then get into the questions. The real big one, obviously, big signing just the other day, but signing Buendia and Leon Bailey. Is this signaling what we think is the end of Jack's time at Aston Villa?
I hope you've not been tormenting Mel too much with this.
I'm looking it up right now.
It's really of course, it can go one of two ways, and there are some. I don't know. I even heard some deluded Arsenal fans a few weeks back when we signed Buendia that, he's coming to Arsenal. Jack's coming to Arsenal.
We don't have $100 million to spend.
Yeah. But so there's two schools of thought that, yes, number one, they are replacements for Jack Grealish. Villa will take the 100 mil, walk, reinvest it. They're already starting to do that. But then there's the other school of thought that we are hoping and praying and believing is what's going to happen. So a lot of people don't know, but Wes Edens and Suarez actually own Aston Villa. For those of you who are NBA fans, Wes Edens also owns the Milwaukee Bucks. And you saw what he just did with Giannis Antetokounmpo. He, when everyone said, yeah, let's go Bucks, I was so happy they won, that Villa affiliation. When people were saying Giannis should go to a better team, Wes Edens, offered him that contract to keep him there. And, not only did he keep him there, obviously they won the NBA final. So people are hoping that it's a similar situation with Jack Grealish, that, they're going to give him that money, up his contract, give him a better contract. Apparently, Wes Edens is meant to be in England today speaking with Jack. I know all afternoon Jack was speaking with Lang, the sporting director. So people are hoping that it's going to be the same situation where everyone else thinks, of course, Jack is going to leave. Why wouldn't he go to City? Why would he not go and, win Champions League, win EPL, every kind of cup? But, him being a born and raised Brummie, a la Jack, a Brummie boy, some people are hoping that, just that passion and that love for Villa, that he will stay, that money is not an issue, and that he will believe in the plan of what Wes Edens has in store for Villa. So again, it could just be a pipe dream, but people are saying, with these two new signings, it's to actually help support Jack and, to push Villa in that right direction and to keep him on side rather than, him to go to City. So again, I think in the next few days, things will transpire, whether,
Well, we have breaking news.
Yeah.
As of 10 minutes ago, Lindsay.
Yes.
Jack Grealish is still with Aston Villa.
Very good.
I believe this is the perfect time for me to interject real quick. Taylor had a pretty good one online the other day.
Oh, yeah?
100 million for Grealish seems like a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But when you break it down to 50 million per calf, it's actually a bargain.
Hey, exactly.
It's pretty underrated, actually.
I was just going to say, hearing all that delusion reminded me of the famous quote from one Rick James: "Cocaine is a hell of a drug." All right.
And also, real quick, breaking news from Russ just texted me. Giannis is actually an Arsenal fan. So there you go. I'm happy for the Bucks too then. Okay.
All right. Second question for you, and then we'll get you out of here. Very overlooked, but John Terry played a very, very important role in your team.
In the WAGs meetings?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did. But
he was on his best behavior at Villa.
He really did a lot with your defense. With his departure now wanting to go find a head coaching job, Dean never really messed with the defense. He just kind of let that always be Terry's job. The pieces are there. It's a great defense. You got a great goalkeeper. Is it going to be able to hold form without Terry being there?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. First of all, I think Terry stayed longer than we expected, and I think what he did was great. And all Villa fans, we're very happy for him. We appreciate, his time as a player, and then the past 3 years as, assistant manager. It's funny because Sean Teal, an ex-Villa defender, I was on a Zoom call with him probably about a year ago. And, remember the Villa's first season back in the Premier League, and their defense was just atrocious. I mean, it came down to, squeaky bum time on the last day when, Villa just miraculously stayed in the Premier League when everyone had written them off. And that was because our defense was just terrible. So a lot of people...
Arsenal definitely wrote them off.
Yeah.
Yes. And we actually took 3 points from Arsenal at the end of that season.
Exactly.
A lot of people were asking, what the heck is Terry doing then? Is he not the defensive coach? But apparently, Sean Teal, who those of you who remember him played in the 90s for Aston Villa, he said that Terry was not hired as a defensive coach, so that was kind of interesting. Like, okay. But then last season, we saw a dramatic turnaround. Craig Shakespeare also came on. A lot of you know him and the great work that he's done. But people did say last season he did work with the defenders more. So I think he's going to be missed, but I think we'll be okay because I think I did hear that he did, do a lot of work with Konsa, and you see how far he's come. And honestly, I think even he should have got an England call up. Matty Cash, Mel's boyfriend, Mel's bit on the side. Sorry, Sam.
He's fucking dreamy. He's a damn fine looking man. It's hard to deny.
As you famously say as well, less work for you.
Exactly.
You know what I call Matty Cash?
What?
Jakku.
Jakku, heard. All right. Lindsay, plug away. Where can people find like-minded Villa supporters?
Hopefully we will be back at Fado's in Annapolis this season, and you can find Villa fans all over the United States of America. We have a great Lions Club. Every year we have a meetup in one of the U.S. states, and hopefully Villa will be back next summer, or if not the summer after. And also Villa have a great charity in Birmingham, Acorns charity, that they kind of raise money for children who need medical help back in Birmingham in England, and the Villa fans all around America do a lot of fundraising for that at our meetups and various things. So
excellent.
Yeah, it's great to be on the show as always. Thank you guys. Love what you guys are doing. It's great to see you, Mel. Nobody mute her, and great to see everyone else.
It's
and
dangerous when there's two villainistas in the room.
Yeah. Just lucky you've got support.
Right.
All right, Sammy, take it along.
Miss Jane, how are you today?
Really good, thanks.
Brentford Football Club. Newly promoted, obviously, first time in the top flight for a very, very, very long time. And obviously, first time in the Premier League. First question I've got for you is Ogochukwu Onyeka, Frank. Do us all a favor, mate. Put Frank on the shirt, will you? He's a Nigerian midfielder. What is he going to bring to the team? Is he going to be an upgrade to anything you already have?
Yeah, I think so. Look, we're at Brentford. We're all kind of still a little bit rosy-eyed. We're just thrilled to bits to be in the bigs, and we're really fortunate this year that we're going to be the underdog Moneyball team. And anything we do right is going to be, people are going to be quite surprised. Anything we do wrong, they're going to go, they're going to do a Fulham, one up, one down. So what we're really keen to do is stay up. And I think Frank the Tank is going to beef up the midfield. He reminds me when I first came to London to work. I saw a lot of Chelsea games because I had a mate that knew Damien Duff, so we were lucky to get some tickets. And probably my favourite player would have been Frank Lampard, and Frank Onyeka reminds me of a bigger, kind of burlier Frank Lampard. He's competitive, he's fast, and he can score. And I think he's really going to beef up that midfield line. I think I said last time when we had a chat, the best thing about Brentford in the last half of the championship season was we had what I call the big feed going on. We're really fortunate to have a talented striker like Ivan Toney, and we had the big feed going on. There was Sergi Canos, there was Brian Mbeumo, there was Josh Da Silva, there was Ethan Pinnock. There was this big feed going on, and Tony nailed a lot of it, but he also fed in too. So I think Frank's going to be part of that big feed, and I'm hoping that's going to be enough to get us the goals and keep us up.
Well, that actually leads me perfectly into the next question. I expected Brentford to spend a little bit of money this summer, in if nothing else, reinforcements, but it's been surprisingly quiet. I don't necessarily want them to go the Fulham route where they replace the entire team, but do you think this squad will be good enough to stay up?
Well, I had a look at the transfer window, and everything that was in the in the hot gossip columns never came to be. What they end up doing is they end up pinching young Miles Harris from Chelsea, and who's a really talented young under-19 cap by England. He's going to really give us some flying talent on the wings. They picked up Chris Ayer from Celtic, who was a midfielder that went defensive. And so, again, beefing up that big feed line from the back. And I had a bit of a look. I sort of had a look at our team in a different eye. And there's almost nobody that hasn't played international football being capped, whether it's Finland or Norway or Sweden or England or Spain. So actually, under the radar, we've got a lot of players, the majority of the team, that have played internationals and played at a competitive level above Championship League. So I'm hoping that we're going to pop as a really pleasant surprise that no one was expecting. So I think, yes, I'm going to put my chops on the block early, and I'm going to say I like what we've got. I think given the opportunity to play in the bigs, I think we're either going to step up and be the big feed and we're going to score and Ivan Toney's going to do a Didier Drogba and get 30, or we're going to be the big flop and we're going to do a Fulham, and which I hope we don't do. But I've got some faith. Even when you have a look at Brentford B, you've got a lot of young capped internationals down there, Australia, young Lockie Brook from Adelaide United, our local team here. I'm hoping, yes, we've got the talent, and it wouldn't surprise me if we don't pick up somebody mid-season to beef up that line as well. We've got a lot of talent there, and I'm going with it. I'm going to say yes. I'm going with the underdogs.
All right,
That's awesome. It makes me a little nervous. I want you all to stay up. I love the injection of new blood into the Premier League. But it almost reminds me of Norwich to an extent. We're hedging all of their bets on Timo Pukki. I think if you can share goals around the team, I think you'll have a very good chance of staying up. If you're relying solely on one player, if he goes through 8-10 game slump, I think you'll be in trouble. So good luck to you. I hope that all works out. I really do. Is there any place you'd like to plug for like-minded Brentford supporters to find anything?
Well, the club Twitter feed is actually the best for us remote followers. The Barossa Valley's only got one supporter that I'm aware of. That would be me. But my place is on 8 acres on the side of a hill, and it's been called the Hillside Bar and Grill for a long time. So I'm going to open up the Hillside Bar and Grill to any aspiring English Premier League supporters, and we're going to start following up here on the veranda. So
love it.
Oh, and under the radar, my pick is this one on the Isle of Isla. It's a blended whiskey. It's under the radar like we are, and it's a little bit of everything from Ardbeg, Bruichladdich, Bunnahabhain, Lagavulin. Everyone puts a bit in, and this is what the locals drink. So it's blended, but it's blended for some pretty nice stuff.
Black Bottle's some great stuff.
Happy
Black
days,
Bottle
and thanks for having us on the show.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So I'm up next now. We got our boy, actually, first guest host to ever sit in on the Drunken United Football Show, one Mr. Paul Dorsey. Paul, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Always an honor to be here.
Hold on one second. We got some theme music to play for you real quick.
Get my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself.
That's it. From now on, whenever we talk about Brighton, that song's getting played every single time. I can now
Be stuck in my head all season long.
I can retire the meme from mine of all the seagulls. That gif, I can finally retire that one and then beat this into the ground like a son of a bitch. Let's get into it. Unfortunately, I do not still see a Brad Parker, so there's no yin to your yang.
We're not missing him. It's fine.
Okay.
He's showing up just like Crystal Palace is going to show up all season. Not at all.
You know, just still one of the best episodes we ever had. In studio, we had Brad and Paul sharing a microphone just throwing shade the entire hour. It was absolutely fantastic. So let's get into it. Been a couple of years now with Graham Potter, and there's a lot of good things you see in Brighton as far as attacking goes, but then there's a lot of bad. You see a lot of leads given away, and just it doesn't always seem to work. Is this the season it finally clicks?
I sure hope so. Yeah, that's definitely been one of the big things that we've, as Brighton fans, have been really hoping for in the offseason is getting a striker in, because all the pieces of our team are there except for that goal scoring. And it's really frustrating. We're seeing a little bit, it's preseason and it's against Luton, so take that for what it's worth. But we scored 3 goals last weekend, so I'm excited for that. Aaron Connolly got a goal. He didn't really have a great season last year. He's kind of in and out. And then Neil Maupay obviously is kind of our big striker at the moment. Hopefully we can get somebody else in. But
please, by his God-given name, make less.
This just in. You got 2 minutes before Palace decides to show up.
But yeah, no, I really do hope that we can figure the goal scoring part of it out, because everything else is there. I really trust in Graham Potter's style of play, and I think that, if we get the goals in, then it's going to be a special season for us.
Excellent. Do you think that, just to kind of play off of that, you lost Ben White. Do you think that there's any other guys you could potentially lose as we get down to the wire here on the transfer window?
There have been talks about Yves Bissouma leaving potentially to Arsenal. I know it was talked about, but again, they kind of spent the Ben White money, so I'm not so sure that's going to happen. But yeah, that's kind of died down recently since we sold Ben White. I think that was kind of our big sale of the summer.
Right.
But other than that, it seems like the squad's pretty set in terms of departures coming in. Obviously, hopefully a striker at some point. We've been linked with some other players, but I don't really see anybody else leaving unless it's somebody who hasn't really been playing anyway.
Leads me into my final question here. And with Enoch Mpu coming in, is he going to be that next under the radar guy that everybody looks at and goes, oh shit, why didn't we sign him? Kind of like, how Trossard's had up and down, but you look at it and you see that great young talent that just kind of sneaks under the radar and ends up at Brighton. Do you think that he's going to be one of those kind of players?
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's really exciting. First 2 games we've seen him in, he scored a goal against Luton, and he just really looks like he fits in perfectly with the system. And especially, even if Bissouma does leave, he could fill in that role. If he doesn't leave, then we have, 2 players who can really boss the midfield and get us toward, potentially getting a goal. Whether or not we actually score is another question, but having that ball in the midfield, making sure that we can, keep the possession up and keep our style of play going. I think that he really fits in well. Obviously we go for a lot of under the radar signings, so it's not going to be anything like, spending £50 million on God only knows who, but, getting those players in who fit the system and then, can get us toward, where we need to be. And especially, trying to get those goals in. And I think he can really help out with that.
Excellent. All right. Plug away. Tell everybody where they can find like-minded seagulls.
Yeah, definitely. So I run Stateside Seagulls on Twitter and Instagram. It's BHAFC Stateside for anybody who is in the United States who wants to be or is a Brighton fan. We also are starting to maybe potentially, depending on COVID, have some meetups at McGurk's in Federal Hill. So if you're in Baltimore, definitely hang out with us at McGurk's. And then we have watch parties and supporters groups all across the United States. So if you're in New York, Chicago, Tulsa, LA, you're going to find people there.
Excellent. Mel, if you would please, just one more time.
In my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself.
Just makes me happy inside to hear that song.
Getting you a TikTok was scarier than getting my daughter a TikTok. I can't tell you how many times I wake up after a night of drinking and have text messages to TikTok links from this guy.
You too?
It's fucking ridiculous.
No. Y'all need to know.
And then I love the group text. Mel, need this clip for the show.
When we get to Alan and I are brethren in the TikTok. We just send stuff to each. Y'all don't know about Helen Cumlicker. You just don't know. You don't know.
Excuse me?
You don't know about Uncle Roger. You don't know about nothing. Okay.
I'm okay with all of that.
And you don't know how to be mad elegant either. Okay. I'm just telling you that right now. Sam, take it away.
I don't even know where we are. Burnley.
Finally, Burnley.
Fuck. We've got somebody.
I know.
Holy shit. We found the one American that supports Burnley. I like to refer to them as the Great Depression Club because they do so much with so little. Mr. Brett, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here in the flesh. You know, that little bit of resurrection. Here I am. Look at this. I exist.
You know what? When the phoenix
for.
rises from the ashes, it usually comes back as another phoenix. This one, it's like wings are clipped,
like a lame
beak. It's like the girl from The Calling or the Grudge.
We just had to be patient to find the right person.
That's perfect. All right, buddy. So let's see. In typical Burnley fashion, of course, there is not much activity going on in the signings situation. Do you think that Sean Dyche will be able to keep a seemingly stale team on side this season? I know the likes of Tarkowski have wanted to leave. I know a few others. McNeil, I heard, was being sold. I heard Sean Dyche was at kind of odds with the board a bit, may have fallen out with a few players. Do you think that they'll be the same force that they have been?
You know what? I'm just absolutely buzzing, and especially this whole rise like a phoenix, come out like, some horror film monster, right? We've spent 12 times what we spent in the past 2 transfer windows.
So 12 quid.
Yeah, that's right. 12 million quid. That's right. So we're feeling great over here, and we're cooking in Burnley standards. I absolutely think we'll stay up. I think Dyche can do it. We bought Collins from Stoke. That's our favorite supermarket to grab players. So we've done it again, and I think he's a great backup, a great fill-in for Tarkowski when he suddenly gets my toe hurts at the beginning of the season, hopefully forcing a move or something like that. But we're quite solid at the back. We have only one right-sided midfield player. So I'm thinking absolutely we'll stay up. We'll get over the line. That's no problem as long as we make at least one more midfield signing. Otherwise, we only have 2 recognized wide midfield players for the entire squad. So that's really the thing. We absolutely need to. And we've got a number of signings that they say are in the works, possibly Ainsley Maitland-Niles, which would be a mind-blowing signing for someone like Burnley. Also, Maxwell Cornet from Olympique Lyonnais, which, that beautiful goal he scored against Man City in the Champions League, right? Putting someone like that with pace, right? We're crying out for pace. They call us old donkeys, when they play us. Yeah. Anyone plays us. So unfortunately, we need someone that can move like McNeil can. He's got that beautiful left foot. He can attack. He can score. He can create out of nothing. We need something like that.
I gotcha. You talked a lot about staying up, obviously. Is that what success will be for Burnley this season? I know, 2-3 years ago, we were all talking about pushing on for the European places, essentially by keeping it airtight at the back. I think you started that season with a 3-0 win at Chelsea, and then after that didn't score more than 1 goal in a game, except for 2 or 3 times. So what will success actually look like for Burnley this season?
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to score goals. If Chris Wood could find his shooting boots early, I think we'll be doing great, right? There's only like a handful of strikers in the league that score plus 10 goals every season, and it's up there with like Kane and Abba and all kinds of stuff. But success for
Remember
Burnley,
too, a Burnley 10 is like a Manchester City 30. right?
Well, that's fair. Absolutely. Especially when it comes from somebody that can't tie his own shoes like Chris Wood.
Hey, watch out. Let's go.
His eyes are too close together and he looks like an idiot. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
he looks like
can
he's
score
thick.
goals. That's all. I don't care. He does look kind of funny. I love Chris is like a great player. He does look a little funny. But I think success for Burnley, if we make 2 or 3 wide signings, right, absolutely has to be over 12, right? Has to be over the 12th place. And if we get that 3 creative midfielders, Europe is success.
Well,
We've done it before.
Honestly,
we can do it again.
The biggest problem with Burnley,
have.
I was wondering why Jeff Hendrick didn't play as much as he did when he was there. The Irishman, they've all just lacked the creativity. I mean, Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood can both finish things off. They can both head the ball beyond belief. And with Ashley Barnes out there kissing people all the time, it's brilliant. So
you love to see it.
Right, it's fantastic if you can get balls into the box, but they've lacked service. And that's the end of it. The last question I have for you, sir, and then go ahead and plug away where you talk to yourself on the internet. Does Sean Dyche make it through this season? Because, like I said, we've heard rumors, right? The rumor mill is going that he's fallen out with some players. He's fallen out with the board. Does he make it through the season?
Well, we do have new owners. ALK Capital came in, so we have American owners, which is absolutely wild. And we signed someone in June, so the sky is falling, hell is frozen over.
Hold on, I'm sorry. AOK?
ALK.
Oh,
ALK.
I thought he said AOK. Everything's AOK.
that sounds like
What?
some terrible supermarket bought us.
No shit. Yeah. I'm sorry. Continue.
It's okay. It's okay. It feels like it's typical Burnley fashion. Now you got to beat up on yourself a little bit. Anyway, yes, he makes it through the season if he's backed in this transfer window. And I can't see him being terminated in any way, shape, or form. Sean Dyche is Burnley Football Club. I mean, that is underlined, bolded. That's the truth. But I bet if he's not backed and we're in the relegation places by Christmas, he walks. I'm almost positive he walks. He's only got a year left on his contract. If he's not backed, what can he do? He's done everything for that club. Shoestring budgets. He kept them up on sub £1 million last season after 4 players departed. Right?
He cleared the training pitch of earthworms.
Right. He sucked them all down himself and the gravel.
That's right. And the gravel. That's right. Well, where can everybody find you, man?
At my Twitter, at Faded Foot, but North American Clarets. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're all over the place. We have a regional meetup in Washington, D.C., hopefully October 2nd, against our good friends Norwich City at the Lucky Bar in D.C. There's more regional meetups going around all around the nation.
As well.
Lucky Bar's a great bar to go to.
As well as Ontario Clarets, also part of North American Clarets, have a meetup coming. One thing I'd like to plug, I have some friends at Overthinking Football. If you look up on Twitter, Overthinking Football, it's essentially Moneyball, fantasy Prem drafting, right? It's 2 friends out of the Ivy League school Penn. They're just running numbers and who's going to get you the most points back. Absolutely successful. My friend Chris cleaned on essentially every fantasy group he played, just running numbers and doing it. It's a pretty wild thing. Also, I'm drinking a local beer, Earth Rider Brewery from Superior, Wisconsin.
Nice.
And the only reason I'm drinking it is because a friend gave it to me for free in the backyard last night at a fire. So here I am.
Lovely.
There you go. Awesome. So make sure you check out Burnley online and go meet up with all 6 other people that support Burnley.
Oh, hell.
Actually, it's 7. I'm number 7.
No. I will if you're able to make it out to the DC thing, I will come out as well. I would love to. Annapolis is 20 minutes away, nice and easy, and Lucky Bar is a great place to go watch matches.
I've got 2 kids. I'm not coming.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the next one. We got to keep this rolling because this is going to be a 3-hour show like it normally is every year. All right, Chelsea. Allow us to welcome back the largest ego in the room because they won a Champions League. Many would
largest
say,
ego on the Zoom. I'm still sitting here, bro. Okay?
I would say, they won a trophy last year, unlike you. It's did the show last year, was fantastic. He's already plugged his podcast with Simon, but of course we'll mention it again. Strangers in Their Own Land, the MLS podcast. We got our boy Gabe. Gabe, how the fuck are you, man?
I'm doing great. Chelsea somehow won the Champions League. I'm still not sure how. To be really honest, as a Chelsea fan,
it's 2 words. City lost. City lost the Champions League.
Conte can win a trophy for anyone. Olympics, put him in gymnastics. He's going to win you a gold.
What's really funny is it was because he can't score himself. It was the movement of Timo Werner. That's what won them the Champions League.
The movement of Timo Werner can do a lot of things, my friend. Not on and off the pitch, let me tell you.
So he misses off the pitch too. That's good to hear.
Absolutely. He's lost a lot in London. Just wandering, but quickly. He's got a nice pace. Nice pace about him.
All right, let's get right into it. You've got the pieces, right? There's no doubt about it. This is a club. If you need something, it will get bought, right?
Yes.
Got to murder a few people allegedly along the way. Roman will do what Roman's going to do. But the pieces will be there. The manager gets you the Champions League.
Yep.
Can this all translate to winning the Prem?
I mean, yes. I mean, it's they won the Champions League, so why can't you win the Prem? You know, it really. I mean, it comes down to Marina works in mysterious ways. She right now we're working on there's lots of rumor about Haaland. I'm not sure if that gets done. To be really honest, it's late in the game. But Borussia Dortmund plays a hard bargain. We'll see what happens. And then the one thing I'm hoping really gets done is the Jules Koundé with Sevilla, their center back. There's a lot of rumors about that. I'm more confident in that happening than the Haaland piece. But he would be really nice to add to our defense. We've got Ashby, you've got Silva, and you've got Rudiger back there. To get a young 22-year-old that has a lot of potential at Sevilla, it really could, to learn on the tutelage of those guys and kind of bring them up and up through could be a nice piece for us. You know, and last year was really interesting. All the competition that's in our midfield with Havertz, Werner, Pulisic, Mount, Loftus-Cheek, Odoi, George, and that group all competing with each other. We bear the fruits of it. I'm really interested if Ziyech is around by the end of the season. He really struggled with the Premier League last year. I worried about his physicality on the last show, and it showed. Like he didn't have as much space, and he got lost in some games. So it'll be kind of interesting to see where kind of the forwards kind of line out.
When you think about it too, with your young mid,
I can tell you where Timo Werner's going to line out, and it's offsides.
Yeah, exactly. Or on his knees with the head in the ground because he just put it in Rose's head.
Absolutely. And he didn't do himself any favors in the Euros either. He looked much of the same, unfortunately. So
Absolutely.
I was kind of hoping for a little bit of better showing there. And you know, it's tough. And even with Timo Werner being off kilter there, we still won the Champions League. So it's pretty amazing. So even if he's a little bit more in form, we'll just win the league and the Champions League again.
All right, so leading into the next one, Chelsea famously does not suffer bullshit from its managers. No. Thomas Tuchel does not suffer bullshit from clubs.
Yep.
How is this going to fucking work?
I don't know. It's amazing that it worked last year.
You know, they only signed him up for 18 months to begin with, I think.
It just feels like the first sign of trouble, they'll cut loose, and they probably shouldn't.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he may get cut because it's Roman Abramovich.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, they loved Frank Lampard. He even got a personal note for Roman when they fired him.
Thanks, dickhead.
But, yeah, he got a nice personal note.
Yeah.
He usually doesn't speak to people.
I can't believe that. Hey, by the way, you're fired. We got you a lovely parting gift.
But we love you, Frank. But honestly, if you think about it, all the people it's not bad to be fired by Chelsea. I mean, Sarri got to go to Juventus. Conte just won the Serie A. Mourinho somehow ruins a bunch of clubs and still gets work. Benitez, Newcastle loves him. You got Matteo Ancelotti. I mean, getting fired by Chelsea, your career is still ahead of you.
Hey. Ancelotti, shut your mouth. Too fucking soon. Too soon.
He's a lovely Italian gent. A lovely Italian gent. But I'm just saying.
He's doing that thing where he laughs and cries at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
I can see
I don't
it.
know if it's coming over on Zoom, but I can see it here.
I just feel good because I know Ryan's crying right now, too.
I honestly, I feel really good about Chelsea. If they could get a couple of signings, but I mean, their wing backs with Chilwell and Reese, I mean, we're really deep. There's no reason why this team can't win. I mean, I don't have to do a bunch of research to make myself feel better about my player, Simon. So I just, the proof is in the pudding.
Love it. All right, Gabe, plug away.
Absolutely,
Plug away.
absolutely. So of course, I'm a part of Charm City in America with the Blues, the Charm City Blues, and we meet at Solancha and Fells Point in Baltimore. So feel free to hop online and sign up for that if you're a new blue to the area. There's a big group of us there. I'm also a part of our podcast, Strangers in Our Own Land, where we try to fall in love with MLS. It's been a lot of fun. I fall in love with Fafa Pico, a winger for the Houston Dynamo. So it's a lot of fun. We're not that educated about the MLS, so don't expect in depth. It's just us trying to figure it out.
Good news. We're not very educated about the Premier League, and we've been doing a show for 4 fucking years.
Listen, if you would like some advice from an award-winning podcast,
Absolutely.
We'll talk to Mel.
Yeah, she won 3. We won 1.
Yes, Gabe. How can I help you?
American citizens.
Thank you, Mel.
Okay, American citizens love a train wreck. So just enter Miami segment every week, and you'll be fine.
Oh.
It'll be good.
Absolutely.
Because
Not a problem.
anything that Phil Neville has the biggest black cloud over him. I mean, he's the heir apparent to Kevin Keegan, honestly. Just a hapless fuckface that was a decent enough footballer. Kevin Keegan was world class. But they're just in everyday life are just hapless fucks, and it's hysterical.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Gabe. Sam.
Thanks, guys.
He finally jumped in on the Zoom. We've got him here.
Yeah, fashionably late from the posh side of London. Jesus. Crystal Palace. Mr. Brad, how you doing today, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
Not bad. I feel like now with your managerial acquisition, we are less rivals now because I kind of want to see him do well.
So he can be your manager?
Eventually, yes. Firstly, is Patrick Vieira the answer to the boring Roy Hodgson question? That's a really tough sentence to say. Boring Roy Hodgson question.
Rory.
You want to try again?
Nope. We're just going to roll with it. Pretend it didn't happen.
Close enough. I think any manager would have been the answer to that. He's boring. No matter what. Roy Ball. Yeah, it is hard. That was boring. And it was going to be boring no matter what. But we made it boring for him because we weren't going to sign a player until he was gone. And we had the oldest
They didn't trust the old man with the checkbook, basically.
Right. We had the oldest team in the league, and we kept getting older and older because we had a plan. We knew that Roy could keep them in the league. So we spent our money building the academy. We got to Cat 1 academy status, and we started winning trophies with our U23 and U19 teams. Building up, keeping players in South London is our long-term plan. That's the concrete Catalonia, and we want them to stay now, come through our academy, and actually play for Crystal Palace. That's the only way we're going to be the team that we want to be, the club that we want to be. And so, yeah, Patrick Vieira is the answer for a few months. It's either going to end up where he's not good and we're back where we were before, or he's great and he's going to end up somewhere else really soon. So then we can look at 2 national teams that are doing fantastic right now with former Crystal Palace players at the helm, either England with Gareth Southgate or the U.S. winning trophies every month with former Crystal Palace player Greg Berhalter in charge. Because he was there for like 6 games.
Yeah, there we go. He counts. Yeah. He counts.
He lasted as long as Frank de Boer.
We claim Landon to being ours, even though we only played a couple of months on 2 different occasions. So you can claim him too.
I've never heard of Frank de Boer. I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither did your players because they didn't listen to him.
To them. He was a dick to every one of them and every person in the building, and that's why he was gone in like 40 days.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy, I hate his guts.
So a few signings have been made, which all seem decent enough at least. And letting Gary Cahill go just brought the average age of your squad down to 26 the second it happened. I apologize to everybody that heard that joke during sound check. If Brad was here on time, I wouldn't have made it again during the regular show. Anyway, you're probably right. But anyway, the point is this new blood and honestly, the lowering of the average age of the squad, is that all Palace needs to make a push and be comfortable in staying up and maybe try to press on for that Conference League or that Europa League place? Or
yeah, I mean,
is there more that you're going to need?
Risk because there's a massive turnover and who knows if they'll gel or fall apart. But we weren't ever going to do anything besides hang around with a bunch of 32-year-olds and overpaying for guys. Our wage bill was insane the past few years. And by the way, thank you. That was adorable for saying that there are some decent signings. Like, we're making quality signings over and over again. Yeah, we didn't pay 50 million pounds for Ben White. We went and got 2 defenders plus 4 other guys for less than that. So I think we're doing the best we've ever. This is going to rank with top 2 or 3 all-time windows for us. And we're doing it by signing
if it
guys
comes off, yes.
What's that?
I said if it comes off, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we're signing guys that are from 19 to 23 years old to 5-year deals. So we're looking long-term. Again, we have the academy. We have players that are going to be coming up from the academy. Vieira's already tabbed 2 that he says are going to be on the first team this year. But, back-to-back years, we've signed the championship player of the year, or at least the guy who has been the best player. And I can't wait for the drunken transfer show for you to try and pronounce some of the guys we signed. I'm really optimistic with the change in philosophy for Crystal Palace. The boring play is gone. I don't know how we're going to line up. I don't know what we're going to do. But it's going to be different, and we're going to try. So I'm all for that.
I hear you. It's what makes me nervous about it for you, if I was in your shoes, is a complete change of the DNA of the club over the last 10 years, right? And every time they do this, 10 games later, they sack the guy and revert to what they did previously that just kept them in the league. So it's a little nerve-wracking that, hey, we're going to do all this fun stuff. It's going to be great. Beautiful football's coming back to the Palace. And then, bub kiss. So
I totally understand what you're saying. I think the one difference this time is they're buying players to do it.
And you have a former Arsenal player.
They brought him in the end of July, gave him 3 weeks and 0 players.
I hear you there. And that's true. The process has been better. Anything you'd like to plug, brother, for finding Crystal Palace
DC on Twitter. When people are allowed to go places, we're at Ireland's Four Courts watching the games. And my older daughter's off at college starting in about a week. So half of the tournaments that I have to go to are done. So we'll be there much more often this year. Up the Palace. Best of luck to everybody this season, except for, that team down on the coast.
I was about to say, Paul's here. Would you like to say a few kind words to Paul at all?
He knows what happens. I mean, it's 40 plus years. They've finished above us twice, and one of those 2 times we beat them in the playoffs. So
I mean, it's what we all say: fuck the Merseyside derby, fuck the North London derby. It's the El Gatwico. I mean, we know that's where the bread is buttered in the Premier League.
We know where the face of the Premier League in the U.S. Where
Rebecca
now.
Rebecca Lowe's
wait until next year when you're not there.
Rebecca Lowe's a Palace supporter.
Sure. Yeah. Finish above us once, and then you can talk. See you later, Paul.
between Jan, Rebecca Lowe, and now Patrick Vieira managing the club, I may have a soft spot for Palace.
You may have a soft spot for Palace.
We're everyone's second club. That's what we're known for. Go watch the Amazon documentary too. It's awesome.
Excuse me, that's Leighton Orient, sir. Okay? Everyone's second club is Leighton fucking Orient. Yeah, come on, you O's.
All right, let's get into it. The part of the show that I personally am very excited to talk about. Got good friend, host of the American Toffee podcast, one Mr. Ryan Williams, joining us today. Ryan, how you doing, brother?
I'm all right. Your first question, you totally loaded it. I mean, it's what's the plan when you know there's not a great plan? Okay?
Well,
who are we, Brighton? No.
You stole my fucking retort. God damn it.
Sorry, I blew it. We should have coordinated this up front, man.
Well,
I've queued you up.
Well, I also loved right off the jump with when you were talking with Brent with Burnley. I hear him talking about the analytic pool, and I just see Ryan drooling, going, "Where do I sign up? When do I do this? Analytics, yes."
Yeah, I see my reputation has preceded me. Yep, that's right.
Well, it's like I said, get right into it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Carlo, go bye-bye. Hurt all our feelings. Rafa's now our manager. What the fuck are we supposed to be doing now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the goal's still the same. I mean, I'm sure we're still shooting for European spots, but ultimately hope is not a strategy. I mean, look, I think some people think it's not going to be that significant just because we defended a lot last year in the second half. I think that's insane. I think it's a massive difference from man management, not Rafa's strong suit, to tactics. And look, I mean, Rafa's counterattack and low blocks, very different than what Carlo was doing. That being said, I do think some of it, I wasn't a massive fan of Benitez's hiring, but some of it, like his obsessive organization, the orchestration kind of on his counter, I think it'll be welcome. And I think it's good for still a team with a lot of young players. And I was happy what I saw in Florida. I was at the last two games, Florida Cup. Don't say we haven't won a trophy.
Yeah, we won something. Yay.
Yeah. I know. Hey, take it. You got to take it, Sam. But yeah, I mean, I think what I saw him do, I was pretty happy about. They played a higher line. I was surprised about that. You didn't just play his typical 4-2-3-1, which he's going to start off with. And I saw him mess around with a 4-4-2 in defense. That was a surprise. And even a 4-3-3 in the last day. So, but look, his number one goal, Rafael Benitez, plan or no plan, is he's got to keep the existing talent. That's got to be number one.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Because there was an investment
don't use his full government. Oh, wait, he doesn't work for Mike Ashley anymore. So
yeah, it's okay. We don't have to worry about it. It's actually got nice ownership that'll, help him grow and develop a little. So it's not Mike Ashley. Don't worry.
Well, never-ending grow and develop a little.
No never-ending pasta bowls. No puking in a fireplace. It'll be all okay. Okay.
You better be careful because.
I could see Alan rocking in his chair right now. So
I'm trying not to look at the Zoom screen. Rafa famously tried to help Cristiano Ronaldo develop at Real Madrid by trying to change his free kick technique.
Oh, don't worry. That
he also
conversation's coming with
Luka
James
Modric to stop hitting the ball with the outside of his foot. That was one of his shining moments too.
Yeah, Ryan, we know he's going to have a conversation with Hamas about how he takes free kicks, right?
There is
and how to pass
no
the ball.
way this could go wrong. There is no way this could go wrong.
Well, that's the one that's shocking, though. Think about it. I mean, the owner clearly made this decision to hire the manager. I mean, he had no one else really to do with it. It seems like everyone else was against it.
Hire Big Sam again in December.
But think about that. You hire it. Don't even say that. That's not funny. But yeah, I mean, we don't even say his name on the podcast. You know that. Like, we refuse to utter his name.
They will not say Big Sam. They don't.
Yeah, no, we won't. I won't say it now either. But I mean, look, does it make any sense to hire the guy? I mean, the owner's the one who brought in James, right? So that's your big cash cow, and when he played last year, he was absolutely phenomenal in terms of his production. So you go and hire the one manager that doesn't really get on with the guy. So I gotta hope that the idea behind that is he knew he could patch it up, or it wasn't that big a deal. But boy, that doesn't seem like a wise move, does it?
No. Lead into the next question. Everton so far have made a few kind of shrewd veteran signings, people that are going to fill out the bench, give us a little depth, and seem to help out. Sure. But the two standing problems are still out there. We don't play the ball up the right side of the field because we can't, because there's nobody playing there, or we try to put somebody on the left side to play on the right side, which no go so good. Is this still Brand's project? Is there still thought process? There's rumors, but they're rumors. It's a dartboard and a name. You never know what's really going to happen. Are we going to get that right fullback, and are we going to get that right wing?
No, Sam, that's the Mirror.
Yeah.
Is the dartboard and a name.
Yeah, I heard.
It's the Daily Mirror, okay?
Heard.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, look, it's not Marcel Brands' project, clearly. I mean, he's not selecting the manager. And let's be honest, any club, if they don't have a strong identity and a strong vision, you can't really have a strategy. I mean, you could throw goals out there, but they're kind of irrelevant. And for a director of football, I mean, you've got to have a trickle-down playing style from that identity and vision. That's got to be passed down above you. You can't establish that on your own. That's crazy. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? So as a result, I mean, he's bouncing from manager to manager and different playing style to different playing style. And it's hard to work in tandem with the manager and do recruitment differently. You know, every new guy, it seems like every year. And yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, some of the signings, Gray's an interesting signing. I mean, he's got to work harder and he has to adapt. I mean, he constantly dwelled on the ball at Leverkusen. It took forever. He's going to have to change that. I think every new manager deserves an advocate. I mean, Townsend works for me. He's not that expensive. I mean,
they're all cheap. At least all three of those signings were dirt cheap.
They're fine. Yes, that's the key. Look, if you're going to go get old guys, don't spend any money on them. That makes no sense for a team that doesn't have massive revenues. Spend your money on the younger guys that either get a return on investment downstream in terms of performance or a return on money. And look, we know Everton clearly need a right wing and a right back. So the problem is they're counting on a Moise Kean sale to PSG. And PSG is playing hardball. Of course they are. If that happens, I think it'll be okay. But otherwise, I don't know how Brands is going to get, much sales out of a combination of guys. Maybe Andre Gomes leaves. John Joe Kenny will probably go. God knows what's going on with the Gylfi Sigurdsson's situation. Bernard went, he was on a free basically, but he was on big wages. So, I mean, there's some room there. But look, put it this way. Worst case scenario, Moise Kean plays for Everton this year. I mean, the guy banged in 17 goals, non-penalty goals for PSG last year. And it wasn't nothing, And look, don't sleep on JP Bamin. I'm telling you right now, man, when he was signed to replace Guy a couple years ago, Brands, I thought it was the best move he made in a long time. He's been injured for 2 straight years. He looks like the beast he signed out of Mainz. So that's going to help a lot. But yeah, I mean, if you don't get right-sided players enough, it's not going to help. And we need at least a right back and ideally a right wing.
So what we need to do is spend $50 million on bubble wrap and wrap JPEG in it. And he'll be okay.
That's the problem is though, you're behind financial fair play.
More fragile
so that's the narrative.
Yeah.
He's more fragile than Carson Wentz.
Oh shit.
Walking to his car to training and breaks his foot.
He's been healthy. He's been healthy so far. So far, he's been.
I mean,
he hurt his last injury.
I will knock on IKEA particle board for you.
Okay? Dude, you laugh. The last injury he had, he got it playing soccer tennis.
Yeah, and he was out for 2 years.
I know. And he was coming back.
Fuck?
He looked good. I think he played 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Soccer tennis injury.
Yep.
Months after that.
Ryan, plug away.
Check out the American Toffee Podcast. On Twitter, USA Toffee Pod. Check out our Discord server, linktr.ee. /USA Toffee Pod. We got some good stuff coming out, including a nice interview with Tim Howard. And we're also on Toffee TV USA. So check us out.
Excellent. See, you managed to do it without dropping an F-bomb. I'm proud of you, Ryan. And did you chase all of your kids away so they didn't hear us dropping F-bombs left and right?
I can hear him in the background. My 11-year-old went to all the matches, in Florida. So he heard and saw some things that has never seen from him. He's had a lot to talk about the last couple of days.
All right,
what's funny? What's funny about Florida real quick? Arsenal Facebook that I saw and Twitter was blowing up with, couldn't cancel my flight, still here. Anybody want to do anything?
You saw a couple of them.
Really
saw a couple of jerseys.
Yeah, it was really sad. I felt so bad for everyone.
I know.
They were all over the place, and it was pretty sad. And they're like, we're fucking stuck. Hotels.
Yeah, exactly.
So COVID, here we go.
Exactly.
I gave a couple of beer. That's all I could do, man. I did my part.
Awesome.
We appreciate your charity, Mark. Yeah. Thanks, Ryan.
All right, Sam, now it's time for us to walk around in circles and talk in the ground.
No shit. Gecko. I have questions about Bielsa, my friend.
How are you? One more time.
Gecko.
There you go.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Sam's and producer Mel?
Doing very
lovely.
well. Obviously, he had a great season last season, for a newly promoted side at least. Will Marcelo be able to keep this going, or will it crash and burn as it has in his previous jobs? I know we kept asking that question last season, but now he's got a full season under his belt. I know it was kind of stop-start. The season was weird with COVID. It was kind of, I don't know if you had time to get tired, if that makes sense. You just kind of went on adrenaline. Now that we have a regularly scheduled program, will he be able to keep this going?
Yeah, I think Leeds they're not suffering a second season syndrome. This team and the back room, they're symbiotic. Like Victor Orta, he scouts, he gets the players, he knows what's missing from the team. He knows what Bielsa needs. Because usually when it flamed out with Bielsa, the board would say, oh, we're going to spend money, and they wouldn't spend money. Everyone talks about Marseille, but this was when African League of Nations is in January. And Bielsa said, I'm going to need players because 2 of my guys are going to the African Cup of Nations. And then they faltered, when they were missing. But then they came back and won the last 5 games of the season in Marseille. So they have that togetherness between the board and the coach. And the squad, the core has been together. This will be their 4th season with Bielsa. So, they've got everything working. So I don't see.
This is the longest he's been in a job for a while.
Yeah.
Yes, honestly. It's actually the longest he's been at any club.
It's also the most physio tables they've gone through in that same length of time.
I would say that his naked body has laid on in the dark
due to COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
But he says, I need more physio tables. The board gives it to him because they're like, I know what you're doing. And
they need to buy a new one every time they lose because he lays on it naked.
Yeah.
All right. Well, locking up Jack Harrison on a permanent was massive. And famously, Bielsa likes a small squad with not a lot of rotation. Where do the other new boys fit in? Obviously, Jack Harrison was there last season on loan. Where do the other new boys fit in? And if they do fit in, really, who gets dropped, if anyone, in those positions?
Yeah, so I think they've made about 5 or 6 signings this year, and 4 of them are really for the U23s. So I doubt we're going to see them until at least halfway through the season, and then probably only Lewis Bate from Chelsea, who is an English youth internationals and he's got a big pedigree. Chelsea fans were sad to see him go. But the main signing is Junior Firpo from Barcelona. And before that, Sam Graham's boys, Real Betis, who I just learned it was Sam Graham's boys.
I found that out today too.
But so he's a left back. And so Alioski was a free agent. They tried to re-sign him, and he went to Saudi Arabia. But I think Firpo projects a lot like Gianni Alioski. Like, not a great on-ball defender, but really fit. Will just bomb up and down the wing. Because at Barcelona, he didn't play much because Jordi Alba's the left back. You're not taking Jordi Alba's place. So they spent, I believe it was 13 million pounds. So, it's not nothing, but also if it doesn't pan out, it's not going to ruin the squad.
In football terms, it is nothing. 13 million quid is pocket change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In football terms, yeah.
So they played Real Betis Saturday, and they had a really nice interchange on the left with Dallas, Harrison, and Firpo put in a one-time cross for Bamford to head in. So I'm all in on Junior Firpo at left back.
All right, there you go. Where can everyone find you and or Leeds on the old interwebs, my friend?
So my Twitter is DPG124. I don't do a ton of tweeting, but I'll retweet the DU Football Show Twitter.
Yes,
and then there's LU Americas on Twitter, which isn't super active, but the Leeds United Americas Facebook is active. And so we're 38% owned by the 49ers investment group. So they're really trying to kind of expand the U.S. fan base. They've worked on improving the club shop. JD Sports is in America, which I just learned. There's one in the Christiana Mall, so they're going to sell the Leeds jerseys at JD Sports stores. So if you're heading up 95 and you want some tax-free shopping at JD's, pick up a Leeds kit. And then American Outlaws Baltimore. I'm on the board. So we've got 3 qualifiers the first week of September, the 2nd, the 5th, and the 8th. So if you're in the area, come out to Diamondback Brewing Company in Locust Point. If you say you know the Sams or DU Football Show, I'll buy you a beer.
Love it.
Hey, there you go.
Money where the mouth is. I like that.
The other thing, Americans also love a dickhead club. Is Simon still here? Because he supports the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
I had to get it in.
Thank you.
So-
What's the name of your team?
All of Simon's teams are dickheads.
Hopefully not a name. I want it to stay exactly what it is. I like
want
the
them to-
Washington football team.
I wanted
What the
to
fuck? Yeah, it
switch
sounds
to
great.
WTF.
Yeah. I don't want it to have. I like.
If you've supported what I've supported for the last 35 years, yeah.
I mean, it's no coincidence you guys made the playoffs last year when you didn't have a name. It's the bad mojo.
Yeah, it's gone. It's done. Fair enough.
Yeah.
What's your excuse?
I remember being born on a lovely day, December 31st, 1972, when Billy Kilmer and the Over the Hill
You were born
gang
in 72?
beat
Jesus
the
Christ.
shit out of the Dallas Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl that year. I remember.
You're a fuck, be quiet.
All right.
Shut up, old man.
Let's move into the next one. This is actually, for me, with all the clubs, this is the one that is the most interesting to me because it's Leicester's on the cusp, right? And they've made some interesting signings.
They're on the brink.
I'm very glad to have Mark back again, and I know Mark regularly contributes to multiple sources within the Leicester Football Club. And Mark, it's great to have you back. And this is it's such an interesting club. These last two seasons have been so weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
That's not a question, mate.
I know. I'm just saying it. It's just a statement. It's like they're going to be in the Champions League. They're going to be in the Champions League. No, they're not.
How's he supposed to respond to that?
It's odd. I'm sorry. I know. Professional. Actually, you know what, Mark? I will go ahead and lead in with the question since my co-host pointed it out to me that I did not.
This is weird.
Hey, Mel, do you want to ask a question?
So
you know how to do these things, right?
I mean,
you win awards.
I'm curious how to keep Jim Vardy out of my fucking backyard because he's been by every night since we've been home.
Oh yeah, he's been fucking with Kitty. Yep, with Kitty the chicken.
I would like to know what the secret of that is.
So with these past two seasons, with losing on the final day and missing out on Champions League, is the attitude of the club and the fan base we're really close or we're missing out? We're missing an opportunity.
It's never. I mean, we're Leicester City. I mean, we won the title, and that's like enough for everybody's whole life essentially to have won the title, right? I mean, because. That it's still like never going to happen again, right? I mean, but so I think that what we've seen with the Leicester City fan base is there are some people who might feel like we missed out, but I think really in general we're really just happy in the way that the club has taken the title year and then turned that into basically becoming, I mean, one of the top 6 or 7 perennially now in terms of just the way the club is run. I mean, we go from roller coaster up and down. I mean, we lost our owner in a helicopter crash in the outside the stadium. I mean, it's tragic, but the club has just stabilized to this point where we have good signings continually coming in. We never overspend. We seem to get good signings over and over again. And we're at the point now where you can't say to Leicester City, like, we're going to buy your best player unless they want to sell them. It doesn't matter who you are. You're not going to be able to come in and get our best player from us unless we're ready to sell them. And then we're not selling them for anything less than, near record kind of sales. So, I mean, the club is just, they're established at the point where, they should be considered at least in that top, 6 discussion every single year right now. Long may that continue for us.
Excellent. Now, do you think, because one of the major things that's really kind of hurt the club in these past 2 seasons was depth, now everybody gets injuries. Last season was insane. everyone saw a ton of injuries, and trust me, we'll hear from the next one that's going to talk about all the horrible things that happened to their club and the war crimes that are against Jordan Pickford and all that kind of shit. But anywho, do you feel
I thought
like
you were also talking about Newcastle?
do you feel like Leicester is making enough signings and the right signings to add depth to this squad so that doesn't happen a third time?
So with Leicester, it's a combination, right? I mean, so we have some names. So we had some players that came up from our academy and youth system that really hit it off really well. Like Harvey Barnes was one of the, he was a terror in the league, and then he went down and got hurt for the rest of the year. James Justin is another player who was doing really well. He'd actually, he was in the team, and Ricardo Pereira was not going to get in ahead of him until he went down injured. He's coming back. Harvey Barnes is back. James Madison was 50% for most of the last part of the year. We had center back injuries. So those guys are all coming back. And then there's a new player, the name you're going to hear, Kieran Dewsbury Hall, who's actually looks like a really good midfielder who's coming up. So the signings they made, they basically added some who they keep trying to find the next Vardy. I don't know if there ever will be another Vardy, but they signed Paxton Daka from Red Bull Salzburg, who looks like he's got the speed. If he's got the positioning and the finishing, he could start to take over that. And then they signed a Buba Sumari for the midfield. He's got a pass, little good midfielders. I don't think we're going to lose Yuri Tielemans. They were talking about, he might go to Liverpool. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the situation at Leicester is really good there. So I think that the combination of the players that are coming up, the combination of the players that are coming back, I'm expecting there to be, a good, like we're going to need those Europa League games and a good run in the Europa League to keep all the players satisfied, because of the quality that they're really getting into their starting 25 is just really going up right now. I mean, it's a good time to be a Leicester fan for sure.
Hey, Sam, I know you talked with a certain feathered friend in the backyard. There's some rumors going on, I heard, with some investments being made.
Yeah. So apparently one night after having the old tipple of vodka and Red Bull, Jamie Vardy went on eBay and bought a stake in the Rochester Rhinos in the USL. I couldn't remember the league name.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I would say it's to allegedly be closer to a certain Kitty the Chicken.
I think that's probably true as well.
I think he wants to stake some roots in the America.
Brad said it's not true. It was Colleen Rooney's account.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of America loved by Christian Fuchs. Actually came in, and he's at Charlotte now. So, and he always said he wanted to become a kicker in the NFL after he left. So
yeah, absolutely.
I tell you what, he was the Italy Austria game from the Euros, which was one of the best games of the tournament.
That was fantastic. That game was fucking awesome.
Christian Fuchs was fantastic on the desk. He was great. Really, really good.
He really was.
Just one of those, it's like, wow, he was really fucking good.
Literally, I mean, the whole thing for Christian Fuchs is like, are we ever going to see him score a goal? Everybody wanted him to get that goal for Leicester because he never was able to. Or maybe he did, actually. I don't actually remember. I know for the longest time he was trying to get one, but...
Mark, anything you need to plug? Where can like-minded Leicester fans hang out?
So there's, I haven't been involved in it, but there is a U.S. Foxes podcast that is now dedicated to U.S. Foxes fans. And then I always plug the New York Foxes, Jason and those guys at the New York Foxes. They've long been the top supporters club for anybody in the U.S. who's following Leicester, and they've been the leaders for a long time. And then if you're into charity stuff, anything that's associated with the Vishai Foundation that Leicester City runs, basically they do tons of charities in Leicester. They have for a long time, and his son has kind of continued that that mold of just being a big benefactor to the Leicester community. So anything just having to do with that, I just plug into, and you'll be on very solid ground.
Excellent. Love it. Thank you very much. So, Sam, we can go ahead and move on to Manchester City, right? We don't have to talk about the next club. We can just pass on that one, all right? Right? Skip that right over. There's not really much we need to talk about.
For how late Brad was, Russ was that early.
Okay.
So let's give Russ his due.
All right.
Okay. Mr. Russ, how are you today, sir? Liverpool Football Club.
Everybody, please, moment of silence and respect for the Dutch tulip, Virgil van Dijk. Thank you. Please continue.
Russ, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you all doing?
Not too bad, my friend.
Was doing better.
Speaking of the Dutch tulip, will Virgil van Dijk's return be the only thing Liverpool need to be title contenders again?
No, but that's going to give them a big step forward. Losing him, definitely, you lost the leadership, you lost that backline chemistry, and then just compounding injuries all year. But you did get to see a few people step up later on in the season, which was nice. But, with Virgil in the lineup the last few years, they had 97, 99 points. They take Virgil out on a cheap shot by a goalie. They drop down to 69 points for the season.
Well, you see, you need to understand, he doesn't have very long arms, so he used his very long legs to hurt him.
And T-Rex came flying in to kick and took out the Dutch.
You know what I
Dutch
saw on
fan.
Instagram the other day?
What's that?
Jordan Pickford's pajamas.
Uh-huh.
Not attractive. They were terrible.
You know what he does? Saves fucking penalty kicks in Euro finals. That's what that man does.
Sorry, Russ.
But no problem. But one of the things getting Virgil back is going to help push the players back into their natural positions. You're going to get Fabinho being able to play up in a defensive midfielder. And now you've got a stable of talent coming back there with the center backs. You've got, Matip coming back for a few matches at least. Gomez coming back. And then the two young guns, William and Phillips, they definitely stepped up there on the run to end the season. So it's definitely going to help round them back in. But they also got to get that midfield solidified, and the front three need to get back on form.
Fabinho playing defensive mid is everything to that team. When Klopp started playing him at central defense, it completely fucked their chemistry.
You know what I forgot to say?
And
Actually,
I can say that fairly as an Everton supporter. It ruined everything in their season when they moved him back to center defense.
You know what? I'm going to save it for Ray. I'm not going to bring it up yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, the second thing I wanted to ask you, sir, is after the last two seasons where you got a Premier League title, right, and a Champions League title, the 2 seasons prior to this last one, so in the last 3 years, you have a Champions League title and a Premier League title. Is anything short of lifting one of those 2 trophies considered a failure this season, now that you will have a full complement of players?
I think that's obviously being a top 6 team. You definitely strive for cups within your own country, not in Florida. So you really want to drive to.
I also feel like that was a dig at me as well. Top 6.
Well, we don't just need to win cups in Florida. We also take 4 points off our rivals in a season too.
Damn.
I don't see, us dropping 6 home matches again this year like we did last year. But, being in the top 6, you want to spend that money. Unlike, there's 50 million people that aren't in Europe to buy players with. They're going out and finding players, and hopefully they get a few more additions on their midfield. But, yeah, lifting a trophy is always the goal at the end of the season.
A trophy. I feel like a League Cup would still be a failure, though. I would say it's 2 specific trophies, the Champions League or the Premier League. Short of that, is it a failure for Liverpool Football Club?
I don't want to go.
Are you walking alone at that point?
Yes, you want that Premier League, but you don't have $200 million to spend like some other clubs do to try to bring in players.
Well, come on, you just sold Xherdan Shaqiri. Of course you do. You have a ton of money.
So, and they spend it wisely, and they're not bringing in unwanted players. They're definitely trying to fit it in. But yes, definitely going the Premier League title. That's the goal this year.
And one of those 6 losses, Sam, at Anfield, Everton Football Club. just want to remind you that one. That one stung. Of all their losses, I bet you that one stung just a little bit more right there.
we can't give 4 points to the noisy neighbors this year. We gotta shut that down first.
A Liverpool person using a Manchester United reference as a dig at an Everton supporter is the stuff of dreams for me right now.
It's very meta.
Okay.
It is very, very meta.
It is meta world peace, jumping into the stands of Detroit and punching the shit out of a fan. Yes, it is.
Well, Sam, I got to tell you.
I was just going to say, I'm waiting for the line that makes me have to drink. That they lost the league.
Oh, at Goodison Park.
Yeah, okay.
They did lose the league at Goodison Park one year. That was
That's
pretty
part of my
great, too.
DU drinking game that I play every year.
Yeah, heard. Anywho, Sammy, you want to wrap it up there with Russ so we can get on to this very important guest that's next?
Is there anything you'd like to plug, sir?
No, just go out, support your club, sign up for their memberships, their international memberships, go around. In Baltimore, you've got Smallsville that you can go and catch a match. And Northern Virginia, Crystal City Sports Pub, and in DC, Queen Vic British Pub. So go out and watch a match.
It's Baltimore, not Smallsville. Is this
sorry.
a Netflix alien town?
That is.
It's Baltimore's the pub, you cunt. Jesus Christ.
Beautiful.
What are you doing over there?
Sorry, Russ.
Making me a very, very happy man. Russ, way to take one for the team, brother. I appreciate it.
You guys know where I'm at every Sunday morning, so I'm not in these pubs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, excellent. Sam, are we ready to talk about the champions?
We are.
We got a very, very special guest here to talk with us about Manchester City. That is fucking exhilarating. What else do you think? Sam, you want to chime in on this?
Yeah, $100 million for Jack Grealish. What do you think about that?
We did ask a question to our very esteemed guests. We'd like to hear a little bit more from them. All right, very good.
There they are.
And now the problem is
hey, fair analysis.
Okay,
fair analysis.
Hey, they're more late than I was.
I really, I want to say what I said last year, which is, if you don't show up on this show, you end up getting relegated. But then they won the fucking league. But they did start the year in 14th place.
More money than God himself.
Yeah, pretty much. So, fuck them. Sam, let's go on to the next one.
Raymond, sir, how was work?
Yes, sir. Sucked.
Did your emergency get taken care of?
Yes,
Obviously,
sir.
You're here.
Obviously.
Good. All right. Do you think that all you really needed was Rafael Varane, who never actually wanted to play for City, or for United? I mean, I'm sorry. He turned them down at least 3 times in his career. And Jadon Sancho, is that all you needed to be as good or better than Manchester City and Liverpool?
And Chelsea.
Liverpool.
And Arsenal.
Liverpool, yes.
No, you don't get to shoehorn that one in. No.
Hey, come on. We have nothing else to do but focus on the Premier League.
I'm excited for the signings of Varane and Sancho, but I still think we're lacking to really compete with City. I still think we have the chance to be top 4, stay in the Champions League, but to compete with City for the Premier League title, I still think we're short a defensive midfielder. I think Matic being 33 now, I think as his birthday was yesterday, is just too much tread on those tires. And I really think, if we got that defensive midfielder that we should have gotten, I think that would, we got 2 out of 3 pieces, and we just need that third piece, I think, to really compete for the title, in my opinion.
Now, speaking of that, and this is what I was going to say about Leicester, and Mark brought up a good point about Yuri Tillemans being safe this summer and potentially, moving on, is I think you better watch out for Manchester United next summer and Yuri Tillemans.
Yeah.
They're going to need somebody to replace Fred. Fred is not good enough for that team, period. End of story.
I agree with you on that one.
Yuri Tillemans fills that spot fucking brilliantly.
I agree.
Yeah.
So next summer, I think you really need to worry about that. That was the point that I was going to make about that earlier, and then decided to push it to here. But so the other question I have, and this is sure. Possibly unfair, possibly not. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the real deal? We've all called him the Norwegian gym teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't won anything yet, but he seems to have made some shrewd signings. He seems to have restored, I guess, the respect, the prestige of Manchester United, if you will, over the last few months and year. And does he actually lift the trophy this season? Is he the real deal? Is that what it's going to take to save his job? Because I still think a lot of your supporters aren't sold about the Norwegian gym teacher.
Well, Ole's definitely showed some, promising things. I think, Manchester United is a little bit more coherent and promising since Alex Ferguson's retirement in 2013. So he's done a lot. I think Ole was quoted as saying that, redecorating a house, different layers of paint on a painting. So there's a lot of layers that have to be rebuilt in the first. And as you destruct a house or you take away a house or you're rebuilding a house, it's going to look ugly in the first beginning. And then as everything starts coming together, you can see the final product. So I think, there's some promising things there. I think the signings of Sancho and Varane are a couple pieces that we needed. I think if we can get a couple more pieces, I think we'll be there. I mean, I don't think trophies this year is needed because especially not the Premier League trophy, but anything can happen in the League Cups. I mean, anything can happen in the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup or, Champions League. We went to the quarterfinals and beat PSG. So, 2 years ago. So I know, but I think the minimum expectation for Ole, he's got to finish in the top 4 this year. I can see us looking at 80 points, 84 points this year versus what we finished, 76 last season. So a couple more wins.
Graham, I hate to say it. Ole's a damn good man manager. He somehow makes this shit work.
What I worry about
but his tactics are a little off. But I think if bringing in Sancho,
I don't know that he is.
Well, bringing in Sancho solidifies that the right side that we've been missing since Angel Di Maria was there back in forever ago. It seems.
Oh yeah, Daniel James can't find his way out of a wet paper bag.
And Alexis Sanchez that we brought in when Marino was here was just terrible. And if you look at how Manchester United, other teams play Manchester United, they always doubled people on the left side with Rashford and Shaw and didn't really care about the right side because Wan-Bissaka really had nobody to deliver the ball to. So I think that's going to open up a lot of opportunities and more offense. But him bringing in the guy from Chelsea, to help defend our set pieces, which we were terrible in last year. I forget his name from Chelsea. I think that's going to help solidify our team. So, and then we actually have a football, what's the word I'm looking for? Director. It's not all up to the Glazers. Right. So I think that's going to be a huge thing too for Ole. So.
All right. Well, anything you'd like to plug, my friend? Where can, not that you really need any help. Where does Manchester United live on the interwebs?
Well, I think, first I'll plug you guys. Everybody should be a P1 supporter. Sorry, I just think that's you guys are the best.
You mean like you, Ray?
Yes, like me.
Yes, I didn't stick my leg out to catch a taxi for the first time.
Dare I say, number
season.
one P1 supporter.
But if you're in Baltimore, you can check out Charm City Reds. They play. They have all their matches at Tom Cotter's and Fells Point. And then you have Red Devils DC. They usually have all their games at the Lucky's Bar in DC. So they're really two great supporting clubs. I follow them on Facebook and I've been to a couple matches there. Great team, great crowd. So check them out if you're a Manchester United supporter.
Excellent. Very good. Well, thank you very much, Ray. Appreciate it, brother.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
All right. Well, now here is where talking to the person becomes more interesting than talking about the club. What we have now is 1/3 of the Middle Class Hole podcast. The mad, elegant host that, you know what? He has the drip. He does everything. He's eventually going to take over for one Mr. Sam Graham, the smoothest motherfucker on the planet, Alan.
Did he write this shit himself?
Good evening.
It just
he writes my shit for me now, bro. You don't got it like me.
Oh my God, almighty.
You know you don't got it like me.
This is
Sam,
terrible.
it's easy when it comes from the heart. It comes from the heart, my friend.
By the way, there is a $100 transfer on the line for me to start producing the middle class holes.
$100.
We're still, we're not 100 million quality.
Fuck, that's more of the baby. That's more of the Baby Yoda pages. So we may have to take that.
We will be announcing that very soon.
Hey, Russ, you want a job?
Russ, get on deck. We're gonna probably have to have you start producing the show.
We have to record 4 shows every Monday. You cunt. Name the file, dickhead.
That is very inside.
Fuck.
Our people are meeting at a kebab shop in fucking Blythe.
You know what's funny is it's a kebab shop that has all you can eat spaghetti.
Do we really have to talk about your club? Can you and I just
No, we can
spend
talk
5
about
minutes
whatever.
talking?
No,
Yeah,
listen, hold on. No, there
guys
has to be something said real quick. The consortium, not consortium, the trial, I don't know what you call it, tribune, that's kind of deciding on what's going on with the sale of the club to the Saudis, has decided to close up shop for the time being until January or around that part of 2022. So Mike Ashley is definitely going to be in charge for the rest of this calendar year, definitely. The other piece of that is he said they are not have actually looked at any transfers so far. They're going to specifically look at the loan market. Never heard of that player before. And then in that same interview said, that's really shameful by me, isn't it? Or awful by me. That's awful by me. And that sums up Newcastle Football Club. Thank you for coming out. Anything you'd like to plug, sir?
Hey guys, you can hear me talk about more important stuff on the middle class holes. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. It's at MDL Class Holes. Yeah, I mean, you guys summed it up in a nutshell. We're fucking going down, maybe. I don't know. The 3 that came up are fucking terrible. No offense to all of you. So maybe by the skin of our teeth, we fucking stay up.
You're terrible, but the good news to all 3 of you, they're a fucking dumpster fire. You know?
Yeah, no, we're fucking god awful. We'll sell St. Maximin very soon. If not before the close now, definitely in fucking January. He's out.
Oh, I figure
Almiron,
him and
probably
Almiron are gone right before the market ends, and then they're just going to assume a Ryan Frazier on one leg might actually get the ball into Callum Wilson occasionally.
Yeah. Basically, we're gonna just plug John Joe Shelby in anywhere else anywhere that we sell someone. We'll just plug John Joe Shelby in. We might clone him. I don't know if that's an option. I don't think
don't you need a follicle of hair for that?
Yeah, that's tough too.
Isn't that the easiest way to get DNA?
So 6 points on Everton, worst team ever, beat the Derby County record, go down. That's how it's going to end up.
Yeah. I mean, look, man. Even as a group, like my group of supporters in Baltimore, it's just we're done. We're like, yeah, this is cool. I guess I got this new shirt. This new shirt's nice though. Castore. Hey, Wolves. Is that who else did it with us?
Yeah.
Who else pulled the trigger? These are nice. These are very nice. At least they're not the cheap tat that fucking Puma was making. We don't get bags full of free Lonsdale when you order it, so that's plus. So yeah,
you know what? The drip is still solid. You look mad elegant. That's what's up. That's all that matters.
This is a nice top. I don't know. Like I didn't know what to think about these guys. I like how we've moved on to just clothing. Fuck this stuff.
I was just about to say the Newcastle segment is about the kit manufacturer.
It's about the kit.
This is brilliant
because this is about what Newcastle deserves.
Yeah.
This is everything I could have hoped for.
Like Sam said, some loans maybe, probably not though. Arsenal's not going to give up Willock, so there goes our fucking season.
Well, they're trying to sign Joe Willock on a permanent. The problem is Arsenal want fucking money for him.
Yeah.
So
Mike Ashley ain't giving you money. Money? No. Mike Ashley said money. That's the thing I keep.
I have
don't
pending
give
tax
you money.
cases.
I take money.
On the continent. I can't do that.
I have oversized coffee cups to sell for fuck's sakes.
I like to think that he always cut some people like a half a percentage of the club shop earnings.
Well, listen, if I can't I can't buy a player, Sam, if I have to discount tracksuit bottoms to move him out of Sports Direct, okay?
Sam, charity case.
Where do you think that money comes from?
You should just gift him the player. Seriously.
I love the other thing is football clubs in general are billionaires' cocks, right? They just love to play with them. They're the little playthings. They do whatever they want. It's fine. No problem. Mike Ashley's like, no, I don't like playing with my cock. I don't want to play with my cock. It's just there. It's just there. We don't look at it. We don't talk about it. Mike Ashley's a Mormon. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to.
Now make me money, you. Make me money.
Yeah.
He just looks down and he yells, give me money. Make money come out. That's what I want.
That's what I say, too. Never turns into a money shot. Never does. Not a chance. Not a fucking chance.
One serious question. How long before Graham Jones fucks off before...
how long until Arteta tells us that we don't get Willock?
Heard.
Yesterday. Already happened.
Okay, so yeah, then he's already lining something up, I'm assuming. He's just trying to get out. He's just collecting week's pay until he finds something new.
He's enjoying the free sausage rolls at the Tesco down the street.
Yeah, I think I don't even know. I don't even follow anything anymore. I heard rumblings of extending Bruce or something for like 3 years. That's cool, I guess. That's enjoyable.
I could not have asked for better.
The loan market is like Axel Tuanzebe or whatever the fuck his name is from United, so that's fun. That'll be good. We need another center back, like a fucking hole in the head. So yeah, I mean we're just cooking on all cylinders. Really good Geordie stuff up north.
You know what I hate so far about season 4?
What?
Is that my two biggest rivals are now making inroads into my heart. Brad's got Patrick Vieira. He's got Jan. They're not the geriatric team anymore.
Right.
Allen is shitting on his own team again. We're starting season. This may be the year that I go. I don't know what it is.
Absolutely love it. Allen, promote away, brother.
So yes, Toon Army Baltimore. You guys, we watch our matches at the Mount Washington Abbey location these days. We're going to kick that back up now that COVID is kind of over. We're probably going to kill us here in the next 6 months. So we'll figure that out. Hey, West Ham. Who's West Ham? James. Yeah. We, I don't know if you go to the Abbey in Fells, but we've already talked to the powers that be, and we're going to invade your shit because that's how we roll. So we'll see you on August 15th.
Smokey lives in Arizona now.
Oh, damn it. Well, you don't go there, but any Baltimore Hammers fans, we're going to come invade your shit, and we're going to make a fucking proper mess of it.
Oh, I'm coming for that shit show because my team will have played on Saturday. So count me in. I'm there. I'm going
to bring a cardboard fireplace if they don't have one installed. So don't you worry. We're going to get busy.
Get blackout drunk and puke in the fireplace. Is that going to be the game? Oh my God. Can I take part?
I'm doing it. I want to do it.
Yeah, so at Mobtown Magpies on Twitter, you can find us there, or just Toon Army Baltimore on Facebook. You can find us all over there. We have been asked to host the national meetup again because we were supposed to before COVID hit. So that is on the books for sometime this season. We'll find out more details as that kind of pans out.
You got to let us know. We're supposed to host trivia or something, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yes, you guys are. So that'll still be the thing. We'll just fire it all back up. I'll let you know. And then, lastly, of course, The Middle Class Holes is my other podcast where me and two other white guys just talk about random shit, pop culture, science, fucking porn, a lot of porn.
Wouldn't it be two white guys?
I was going to say
other
white guys.
You're not white.
You're not white.
Your last name's Giannis.
Right. Whatever, sometimes I only hear myself and I'm just like, oh shit, I'm brown. Anyway.
We just want you to have the respect you deserve, mate. Stand on your own pedestal, okay?
So I'm wearing this shirt, so my respect is pretty low. My self-respect gets lower. Like, I'm a very confident man, but less so when I put one of these shirts on. So, yeah, it happens. But anyway, guys, The Middle Class Holes at MDL Class Holes, Instagram and Twitter, The Middle Class Holes on Facebook. Of course, we're also streaming on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts.
Do you know how confusing it is to hear your voice in like the corner of my house as Sam's listening to your podcast and they go, Alan's here?
Yeah, he is. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. Right. Yeah.
Because he's mad elegant, yo. And we fucking
elegant. Sam goes, Graham don't know.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Just doesn't know.
I know.
And
I'm just better. It's like Arsenal. We're a shit show too. We're just better.
All right,
it just is what it is.
Slowly sliding back towards us, though. So I don't know how much better you are anymore.
All right. Well, Sammy, it is time for you to connect again.
Hashtag Bance
with the younger generation.
Yes. Hashtag Bance. It's catching on.
No, it's not.
I'm telling you. I've had 6 people use it in the group.
When Russ starts doing hashtag Bance for Jesus, it's not working. I'm just telling you.
It is working.
Not working.
Listen, we're working. We are inclusive, my friend. Okay? We are inclusive. Bance for Christians, bance for knots, bance for, war criminals trying to take over Newcastle, bance for everybody. Everyone gets bans. I'm like Oprah. You get a bans. You get a bans. You get a bans. Just look under your seat.
I hear ya.
All right. Mr. Daniel, sir, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Norwich, not so much.
I have some questions about that, my friend. Everyone last time that you all came up said that it was a season too early for Norwich, that you all had this plan, had the style of football you were trying to play. That showed. The actual defensive coaching was one of the problems. But what makes this season different from the same summer, in the same summer, though, that you sold one of your best players? How is this now the season of opportunity minus Buendia?
Well, I mean, definitely the offseason has been different. We've actually signed players. I think last go around we spent $300,000 or something. It was only like $1 million. Sorry, we signed one player from West Ham for $750,000, and that was it.
That's not a great place to get a player from either, by the way.
So obviously we weren't ready going into that. But this offseason has been better. Obviously we've actually signed some players that I've heard of. Billy Gilmore, Milat Rashica from Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga. But I still don't think we have the squad to do it.
All right. Well, optimistic as ever. And actually answers the next question, really, but I'm going to read it anyway because I'm a professional. Is the ambition just to stay up this season?
You could say there's a change in ambition this year, but they aren't putting their money where their talk is. We can just say that. They're very hesitant to spend money right now. I think they have the money. They sold Buendia for $35 million, and they still haven't spent that money. I think they've only spent like maybe $20 million this summer. So I think they still have money in the bank to spend this summer, but they just won't pull the trigger. They're too scared.
Norwich is famously not a great place to try to attract people to. Honestly, no offense. It's not London. It's not London. It's not a big city. It's not London. It's not Manchester. You know what I mean? Those are big cities that you can attract people to. Nightlife for a footballer, as we've seen many a times over the last few seasons, it's is very important. If Timo Pukki, though, dries up again on goals like he did a couple of seasons ago, where do the goals come from? Who else is there to score the goals?
It's hard to say right now. I think you'd have to be looking at Todd Cantwell on the wing, but he's linked with Villa right now. So Villa's looking to just clean us out, unfortunately. Other than that, we have a backup striker in Adam Ida, but he's really unproven at this point. And the offense is actually looking quite fragile right now. I'll just say that.
Not great.
Sorry, I was thinking full of beer,
whiskey, 120 proof at that. Well, that is pretty grim outlook, my friend.
Yeah, the squad depth is sad to look at right now. They just dropped the squad numbers, and just looking at the list, I think we had 26 players in the first team right now, which is small for any Premier League side. So, we're going to need to sign at least 4 or 5 more players just to really have a good shot this year, but we'll see.
After our conversation a couple of weeks ago, I was really excited about the enthusiasm of the younger generation, Sam. Mm-hmm. And after hearing Alan, who's older than me, a second ago be disparaging about his own club, and then now hearing this is actually quite sad.
Aw. Hashtag bands.
Hashtag
sad face.
I know.
Hashtag sad bands.
Hashtag no pants. Hashtag drama.
Heard drama.
Well, hey, anywhere that Norwich supporters, like-minded, sorry old sods can find your club on the old interwebs here in this country.
So you can find me on Twitter at Virginia Canary. There's also a new supporters group in the U.S. It's mainly on Facebook, Americanaries. They really like to get that alliteration out there.
That's cute.
But we're still growing that.
That's cute.
But you can DM me if you want to try and get into that.
Hey, they retweeted us and they plugged the show. So Americanaries, they're all right. They're good.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Unlike Brentford in the USA, which just ignored all of my texts or said, hey, great, sounds good, and then never answered
You
back.
had to go to a different continent for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, a country that is a continent. Well done.
As you learned when we did the show.
No, I knew that. I didn't know where Wilmington, North Carolina was. I knew that Australia was a fucking continent, mate. Anyway.
We can go back to the tape on that one.
Daniel, cheers, man. Appreciate you coming out.
Thanks.
All right, excellent. Next up, we now chat with Ralph Hampton's #1 fan, a founding member of our fantasy league, and unfortunately lives
Sam's
in
gotta
the
take a
same
piss.
neighborhood as Graham does. Kenny, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, everyone. Thanks for having me out. Excited to be here again.
Thank you very much for hanging with the marathon. This has been daunting. Go pee. You go ahead and go
no,
pee.
I have to get in the plug for his wife.
No, he has to stay for this.
Oh, okay.
And his wife actually texted me and my wife and him during this podcast about the length of time we were taking.
Oh, okay.
And now she has to do bedtime by herself.
Okay, well, yeah. Enjoy that fight. Have fun with that one, Ken. I'm looking.
Listen to what I said. What I said in the group chat was, listen, I know my wife is a capable woman and I am a feminist, so she can fully do bedtime and bottle by herself. So
well said.
I mean,
well said.
Biggest fan here.
Ally.
Slap it up. Snaps.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think the Loud Women's Club would take great pride in that he's an ally. Yeah. It's looking at me crazy. Oh, doing admin. Okay. Excellent. Well, then let's go ahead and get into the questions.
We do that.
All this damn admin.
I'm trying to track down some of our guests that have dropped out.
All right. So, Kenny, let's face it. Big highs, big lows, right? That's what it's been for the past 2 seasons under Hasenhüttl. Where do we find consistency? What's going to be the consistent level with this club?
That's a great question. Again, like you said, tremendous highs, tremendous lows. Getting to first in the table for a night and a half was fantastic. And then, shit started to unravel. So I think, Ralph, now that he's had a little bit more time to instill, his system, as much as people hate the 4-2-2-2, I think that's enough numbers, right? He's finally started to get players that I think fit his style a little bit better, let go of some of the other players that, may not have fit as well. So, again, injuries hit us, plagued us last year. Romeo going down was huge, because he, again, became one of the best holding midfielders and defensive midfielders, in the league, I think.
Fucking
again,
finally.
probably biased there.
He's only been in the league for 14 years. Jesus Christ.
You know what?
It took him long enough.
Things take time, Sam. Things take time. But again, you bring in Diallo, who again showed well in his chances, with Romeo on the bench. But again, I hope that this is the year where there's not the 9-0 defeats, or there's we're able to kind of really show the team that we were when we were fighting at the top for that very brief stint of time. So again, hope springs eternal. Why not?
The next question, kind of a 2-parter. First off, can Che Adams take over this team if/when Ings gets hurt/sold? And then the second part of that is there's starting to be a lot of suitors for Ward-Prowse. Are you going to be able to hold on to him too? Because that's the backbone right there of your team.
Certainly. Listen, I was on this podcast last year praising Che Adams. again, loved what he could show and again, showed spells last year where, he picked up the pace, he picked up the slack for Ings. Again, who knows where the hell Danny Ings is going to be. It's Tottenham, it's City, it's Tottenham, it's City, it's Tottenham's cooled off. I don't know. But, I think, again, Ralph has some pieces to play with. I think we've scored 9 goals in 3 preseason friendlies. None of them have been scored by Danny Ings. So that's something to be said. Nathan Tella showed a little bit last year. Again, young kid, but hey, why not give him a chance? Obafemi, who was, hurt last year, he's back. He's showed well. Bringing Mo Elanusi back from Celtic, who was on loan last year, had some assists in, the Champions League. And, again, I think he ended up with like 14 goals, 6 or 7 assists. I mean, there's definitely some other options there. Again, if the style works and if the pieces fit. So again, could Che Adams do it? I certainly hope so. But I think there's some other options as well there. Again, with some of the younger guys, giving them a chance and just kind of saying, hey, let's go after it. The captain would love to keep Ward-Prowse. I think we told Villa to politely fuck off because I know they were chasing after him. But I think, they're very, firm in that he is not for sale. Now, again, I would also say that too, unless somebody bowls me over with, a large offer. So,
right.
Again, I think ultimately at the end of the day, Southampton, again, the way they built through the academy and being smart and, trying to make our money off selling players like Van Dijk and, trying to get some maximized return. Again, if somebody bowls me over with bowls us over with an offer for James Ward-Prowse, I'd say, why not? But again, that's not for me to make. I'm just a fan. I just live and die by the chance of, hey, at least I know 45, 50 minutes into a game, whether or not we're already down 4-0 or if it's actually going to be one worth hanging in there for the full 90. So.
Excellent. Where are Southampton supporters meeting in the Baltimore, Maryland area?
So there used to be a good group that would go out to Slancha. I think it's kind of died out now, just like our contract with Under Armour. So, I mean, we're just losing Baltimore touches here and there. But again, maybe that gets the stink off of us. I don't know. But again, the place I go to most often is United States of Southampton FC on Facebook. Very active folks there throughout the country. Again, a lot of fun, a lot of back and forth banter, a lot of shitting on Pompey. So that's a great place to go. And then if I can, I'd like to throw a shout out to the drink of choice tonight from Audacious Aleworks in Falls Church, Virginia. Buddy of mine works there at the brewery. They've got some wonderful ales that you should check out. Again, since this podcast runs a little long, I've already consumed a Highway to Hell is lager, and I'm drinking an Easy Work IPA right now. Quite delicious. So cheers to you guys. Love what you do, and love being on the podcast.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. And so apparently, in a very Spursy way, the Spurs fan was on here. Couldn't turn off his mute button.
I got more information.
Yeah.
He went to go pick his son up.
Oh, okay.
His wife just texted me.
Ah, okay.
So we are going to record him in a bit and drop it in.
Well, I just want to say he was here the whole time with his mute button off and making noise while everybody was talking, about like charity and stuff like that.
Yeah, Mel had to farm,
Mel
had to farm her strawberries.
Excellent. All right, well, let's move on to Watford. All I know is we got 7 points off of them last season between knocking them out of a cup and getting a win and a draw against them. That if Harry Kane wasn't a superstar, we would have taken 9 points. We would have won 3 games against them.
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll drop him in later.
Anywho. All right. Steven, how you doing, brother? Good to see you again. Thank you for hanging out for this big marathon.
Yeah, the shitty thing about being a Watford fan is waiting for fucking W to come up in this whole fucking thing. My beer is already gone. I'm done. I'm just waiting. But I'm happy to be here, guys.
Waiting. It's 5:00 there. Shut up. You got the whole night to do shit. The rest of us are fucking done. We got to go to bed.
And what happens when you're up at 2:45 a.m. in the morning? It's time to go to motherfucking bed,
2:45 our time. Yeah, come on.
So you've been doing a lot of signing of kind of veteran players, just kind of fill out the roster a little bit more. The most recent one would be Josh King. Do you think that he's going to provide that little bit of extra goals? Because when we talked the last time, it was basically, hey, I need we need a couple, 2-3 guys to get us 10 to 12 goals each. Do you think Josh King is going to find that form that he used to have with Brentford and help you guys do that?
Brentford? You mean Bournemouth?
Bournemouth. My apologies.
Okay. I actually can't remember such an active transfer window that I've been excited for Watford. We've filled a lot of positions. Josh King is one of them. I mean, he scored 16 and 12 with Bournemouth, I think 2 out of 3 years. But I do think he needs to hit somewhere in the 15 to 17 range this year up front. Another signing, another loanee who's come back, and you won't probably see his name much. Cucho Hernandez, he's a Colombian. He's been on loan since 2017, and I do believe he should provide some very good attacking options for the Hornets down the left side. Thankfully, we're able to retain Ismail Assar after relegation last season, and I do think he's going to return. He's not going to be a big surprise like he was maybe the 2 years ago down that right flank, but I do think Sarr is one that you got to look out for. And then up front, I mean, you can't dismiss Joao Pedro. I know he's only 19, but the kid has a ton of talent. He's like that second coming of Richarlison. So, Sam, when you guys bid $50 million for him, I'm okay if we toss him your way as well. Sema had a solid year in the EFL, but again, that is the EFL. That is not the Premier League. And again, longtime captain Troy Deeney. I mean, the fat man can still score goals. You'll see him in the 6-yard box up front occasionally. The 2 question marks we have right now, Will Hughes, Nathaniel Chalabar, are they leaving? Quite possibly. That means we could see some movement in the midfield. We have added Imran Lauza from Nantes and Emmanuel Dennis from Club Brugge. And we also have Peter Atebo on loan from Stoke City. So I think it's been a very exciting offseason for the Hornets. So it leaves me feeling very good for the start of the Premier League this year.
Excellent. Now, when we talked about Chelsea, about how they don't suffer bullshit with managers, your owners just don't like managers and typically like to, you go, I want to change my shirt. Let's fire the manager. How much rope does he have to do, to learn the Prem? I mean, this is a newer manager. He's done a great job defensively. You talked about in the championship, the low amount of goals against. How patient is ownership going to be in the Prem?
Well, I don't know. We need to look back the last couple of years, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm a Pozo supporter. I do like how they run the organization, but their manager decisions have been somewhat baffling. We look back to the days of Graham Taylor, and by far he was our most successful manager. But it really wasn't until I think the 90s where A.D. Boothroyd came in, and he lasted 3 years, 176 games. But after that, I mean, it's been a downhill slide. I mean, Watford hired Marco Silva in 2017 from Hull City, and granted, he was unable to keep the Tigers in the Premier League. I did feel he was a very good fit for Watford until Everton made their unwarranted approach and stole him from us. But just 5 points in 30 from 10 games in January of 2018, and he was gone. We brought in Harvey Gracia, and now he wasn't the most coveted name, but he did a fantastic job, kept the team in the Premier League, finished 14th, and that was followed up by an 11th place finish the following season after we started 4-0, and we did come back and beat Spurs. I got to pimp that. But he was dismissed in September of 2019, 66 games. So that starts a revolving door. But I did feel that Gracia was the man for the job, respected by the players, backed by the supporters. But the Pozos, I mean, they keep all their managers on such a short list that if the results come unfavorable, I mean, you're not going to be benching players. You're going to be moving managers. So he was moved. So basically, since Silva in 2018, Watford have gone through fucking 7 managers. Gracia, the only manager, more than 22 games. You can't be successful if you have a manager who only manages 22 games. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So will ownership be patient with Cisco? Recent history says no, they won't. So regardless of the 3-year contract he signed, if Watford slides in October, which is traditionally when we slide, I think Cisco's going to be out, and that carousel of managers is going to be fucking spinning again.
Unfortunate. So go ahead and plug away. Where can Watford fans in the United States find one another?
Good question. I don't follow any of them. I live in Baltimore, but maybe Blythe would be a great place to start. But I'm at 6 Goal on Twitter and hashtag FPL Beer Club. Those are my 2 big things on Twitter. So appreciate all the fun here on the show.
Absolutely love it, Sammy. The international man of mystery is with us.
For the first time.
Take it away.
We got to be quick, too, because the Arizona sun not only lights his blunts for him, but it also kills his phone battery. So we got to get him done quickly. Mr. Smokey, how you doing, sir?
He's got to unmute himself first. There he is.
Good. Juggling European football, Sam. Juggling European football isn't easy. How is West Ham going to fare this season in the Premier League whilst doing that?
I would like to be optimistic, and I would be more optimistic if we weren't 4 goalkeepers and no striker FC.
Fair enough. That is fair enough. Obviously, you're not happy with some of the moves that have been made. It's like we're on the same plane when I write this. What do West Ham need to do to compete on these two fronts? And I assume it would be release a goalkeeper and sign a striker.
Yeah.
That would be helpful. West Ham have definitely needed at least 2 strikers.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Well, I will say I did go put the chickens away for a moment, and I got the eggs. I tried to talk to Kitty, but she was on the phone.
Oh, she's talking to Jamie.
Wish we were talking to James.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of lost him.
Well, moving on.
Uh-oh. Nope, I have an obituary.
Oh, you do have an obituary?
Oh, he sent me something, yeah. In case this could not work.
Okay, well, then go ahead and read the obituary.
So I will do that then. That's a shame. Nice to hear his voice for the first time, though. Juggling Europe and the league. We would like to think we could do both, but with lack of investment from the board, looks less and less likely we'll do well in either. West Ham have needed at least 2 strikers for the past few years. Antonio's hamstrings will not hold up over both competitions and is a winger by trade. I'd argue wing back, but that's okay. We've only brought in Areola and 3 or 4 academy players that have shown promise in preseason, but that's still only friendlies. We need at least another center back and center midfielder cover on top of those strikers. And if we start to struggle, we have to stay with Moyes. I asked him, where is it? I said, do the Dildo brothers stick with Moyes? They've already abandoned him once. And if things start to go wrong now, do they ditch him? And he says, if we start to struggle, we have to stay with Moyes. As much as I did not like the hiring the second time around, he really has the backing of the players. He has gotten the best out of some of our fringe players, but not sure he has the pull to get the big name signings or marquee signings we might actually need after his previous stints. So I would argue that's also just West Ham Football Club, not necessarily David Moyes.
Pretty much.
Pardon me, David Moyes. Not the truly damning indictment that he wrote at the start of last season. I think he kind of got his, found his way, if you will, with his own football club, which every man needs to do at some point. So there you go. That is Smokey's answers, man.
They are in for a world of hurt. Every time it's not a big club playing in Europe, it's one of the quote mid-table clubs. If it was us or Southampton or Burnley, like Wolves, every single team has struggled with it in the league. They struggle with it.
Yeah,
big time
I honestly am worried for them as well, to be honest with you. I don't think they're going to be relegation contenders because at some point, I figure around the 3rd game week of the Europa League, David Moyes will decide to pack it up and fuck it.
Let kids play.
That's what he's going for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And focus on the league. Yeah. So, but I don't think they're going to have a tremendously good start of the season.
No, really it's going to be tough. I see them being like 15th, 16th place for like well into December. And there being a lot of questions
honestly,
asked.
The Areola signing, Lucas Fabianski's probably the one player that they could sell, honestly, besides Souček, which would decimate the whole team.
Yeah.
Same with Declan Rice, right? So the big deal would be Lucas Fabianski. You sign Paul Areola. Paul Areola. Fuck me. He plays for DC United.
Yeah.
Not him. the goalkeeper that played for Fulham last season that was owned by PSG.
Yes.
You sign him, great. So move Fabianski on for 35, 40 million.
Right.
And then use that money to buy a striker.
Right. But
that can partner and share the responsibility with Antonio.
Right.
But it is what it is.
Why aren't they on the phone with Manchester United right now trying to do everything they can to get Lingard on their team?
Why isn't Smokey on the phone with us? You know what I mean? Well, these questions happen.
He needs to stay under the radar. He doesn't always have the best internet service because, he's an international man of mystery. We have discussed this before.
Because he always chooses to live in the middle of fucking nowhere. That's what it is. He's in the woods in Maine, and now he's in the goddamn desert. Okay? Sorry, Russ. I didn't know you were still here.
All right. Well, then I guess we're going to do Mark in post with talking about Tottenham. So let's go ahead and get...
Or I'll do it in post. Which I can't wait for.
Let's get to our last team. Holy shit, we got through it. My good man, we got through it.
Oh, wait, guys, we're out of time. I'm so sorry. That is the end of our bandwidth.
So
he's stuck through. He's here. He sweated through the whole thing.
So our boy Paul from the Whole Lot of Wolves pod today reached out and was like, sorry, I got to cancel. I can't help. But I got Danny, who knows you guys from the Monument event.
Came to the live show. That's right.
Starting to kick off the Baltimore Wolves chapter. And he's like, I'll get him right now for you. Why? Because Paul is a professional. And that's how it rolls. So,
and so's Danny, ready at a moment's notice.
Ready to go. I mean, I got the email immediately. We talked immediately. Everything was set. So
ready to sit and wait for a full hour and 15 minutes to have his moment in the sun.
2 hours.
Fuck, are we at 2 hours? Jesus Christ.
Danny, how you doing, brother?
Good. Hey, I'm working from home. What the hell am I doing?
Attaboy. Attaboy. So no more Nuno. Now what?
Oh, great question, and I wish that any Wolves fans knew. But the real answer is, another Portuguese manager on the Jorge Mendes carousel by the name of Bruno Lage. There are a lot of things to be excited about him and a lot of things to question about the choice. So pick your side, and a lot of Wolves Twitter has picked the sides.
Oh, yeah? What's the general temperature?
I'd say that there's a fair bit of excitement over the fact that he likes an attacking brand of football, and Wolves notably didn't have that last year.
Very much a counter-attacking brand of football.
Yeah, so hopefully you won't have to change position too many times when you're watching Wolves games at 7 a.m. to try to keep yourself awake. Obviously, we had very notable struggles last year, and none more so than Raul Jimenez having that horrible injury back in November. The good news from that is that he's back.
The good news from that is that David Luiz is gone. So there's not a big risk of it happening again.
Yeah, if you want a good laugh, look at any tweet about Jimenez being back on the mend and go through the Wolves Espanol Twitter feed and see what the replies say there. see what Mexican fans have to say about David Luiz.
Oh, I'm. You know what? They're very, very gracious, as we saw just the other night, as Estados Unidos beat them twice in a month in finals, and they're gracious people. I'm sure they were nothing but respectful to David Luiz, because it's how they roll, and they are the gold standard bearer of how to be polite on the pitch and off the pitch. The Mexican supporters, no doubt about it. That's for sure.
Well said, Sam.
Yeah, it's not easy lying. It's not easy lying. I thought I did a pretty good game face there. So with it being another Mendes kind of agent situation, do we feel like that pipeline's still going to be there as far as continuing that level of talent that, I mean, we jokingly call it the Portuguese national side, but it's worked so far. It ain't a bad idea. It's worked. Is that pipeline still going to be strong?
There's no question. It's still going to be what they're looking at mostly. And you can tell already I'm wearing the Wolves Portugal FC third kit from last season. But yeah, we're still on that train. The main incoming this summer has been Francisco Trincao on loan from Barcelona, and that's just another George Mendez machinations. Him and the ownership of Wolves have a tight relationship, as we all know, and so that's always going to sort of be the carousel that we're on. Same by the same token, Rui Patricio, goalkeeper, is now out to AS Roma with Mourinho, and we've got in another George Mendez goalkeeper in the name of Jose Sa from Olympiacos. So and that's just the way it's going to keep going.
It's worked well for you so far, so why bother changing the system, you know?
Well,
absolutely.
Why bother? But you are beholden then to George Mendez, and that is potentially an issue.
Yeah, you're still in the Prem.
No, I get that. No, I understand. It's just, if for some reason that pipeline dries up, which the pipeline never dries up. It's George Mendez, right? He's one of the most respected agents in the game. The problem is he's a fucking agent, mate. And if somebody comes in with more money than Wolves got,
he's going there.
He's going there because he gets a bigger cut. Now, he walks around in tattered tracksuit bottoms and fucking extended V-necks and shit and looks like an old school peasant. But the dude's got fucking $300 million in the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And money talks. So that's my concern with Wolves is when is that bubble going to break that they can't pay what Mendes wants?
True.
Yeah, that's always been a concern with at least a certain segment of the fan base. The other argument is that the owners of Wolves, Fosun International from China, they own a part stake in George Mendez's agency, DUfoot. So it's maybe not as simple as a one-way thing, but it's certainly extremely complicated. None of us are at that level.
Right. Well, his wait a second. You just opened up a can of worms here.
That's right. It's all a can of worms.
George Mendez's agency is named DUfoot.
DUfoot.
Okay, DUfoot that's going to be running around for your club next year, Wolves. DUfoot that's going to sign for you.
Yep.
Because you don't know who it's going to be. It'll be somebody I got, though. Promise you that.
All right. Enough of the Mendes show. Danny.
Enough of the Mendes show.
We've gone long enough on that one. Danny, tell us what you're trying to get started with here in the Mid-Atlantic region with Wolves.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Wolves segment if we didn't spend a third of it talking about George Mendez. I just started up a Facebook page and a Twitter account. Both of them are Baltimore Wolves, just trying to connect with Wolves fans in Baltimore. I've met a few of them from time to time, but now we're just trying to find a place to all hang out together. Also, have to mention the Wolves USA Facebook group, which is reasonably active. That one's run by Chris Wood in Ohio, not the Chris Wood at Burnley.
That'd be brilliant if it was.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just running the Wolves USA Facebook.
That'd be awesome.
And then lastly, obviously you guys already mentioned it, but give a listen to a whole lot of Wolves. They run a great American-based Wolves podcast, and they're good guys.
Excellent. Thank you very
Paul's
much.
A good dude, for sure.
Holy shit, Sam, we made it through.
We got done, kinda. We still got to wait on Mark to get back.
Eventually. We're going to go ahead and just record the next show. We're going to go ahead and do Patreon. So someone wanted to find Patreon. How would they go about doing that, Mr. Graham?
It's very simple, actually. And I was not the first one. Just want to make it known, again, that I was not the first one that stuck the leg out for the taxi. Okay?
Still a whore.
Ray did it.
Still a whore.
Right.
Whore.
www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow is how you find that. Sign up to one of the top two tiers, the $5 or $9 tier, because $10 is too fucking much. I didn't ask Mel because she's very busy doing something business-like.
I even unmuted myself to say because $10 is too much.
Her thumbs were working a mile a minute, and so I didn't want to disturb her. So Mel, why do we only have a $9 tier?
Because $10 would be pushing it just a bit too far, and we like to take Ray's money. And Ray sent me a message saying that if we ever went a penny over $9, he would stop being a P1.
Heard.
Fair enough.
Ray's like, no lies detected.
Yeah.
But then if you do that, sign up to one of those top two tiers, you would then find both Soundcheck and Injury Time, which are our pre-show and preview show for the upcoming week.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, any parting words, Sammy?
Just a real quick admin note. We are not going to bet the first round of games.
Right.
That segment is back for the season. Don't be worried. You can laugh at me all you want in the closed group, which is Drunken United FC, actually, on Facebook. So you won't be able to laugh at me the first week because we're not going to be doing betting for the first week. If you show up at the Preakness, you never bet the first race, my friends. That's how that goes. So
excellent.
We'll be picking that segment up on the first proper show of the season for the second week.
Lovely. Next week, everybody, it's going to be our super draft show, shit show spectacular. And then we get into the season.
The season. And the Drunken Recap Show.
Exactly. Till next week, everybody.
Guten Nacht. Chemo.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Smells of my lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Prem, hey.
Sam Graham.
Drunken United! Drunken United! Hit the fucking mute button!